little bit. So, first of all, welcome everyone. Are we live now, Amanda?
Yes, we are live.
Yay! Feel free to share it on your pages as well, everyone. So, welcome to another Empowered Talks session with a whole bunch of really brand new people. Actually, we've got two brand new people that have never been on any of my platforms, so I'm super excited. And then, of course, Amanda, who is also my editor and my book girl, who has the pleasure of putting up all my books and putting up with me while we're doing that. So today we're going to talk about relationships that matter. And I thought maybe I would visit the whole bank code option because we don't have a section on bank code that we're talking about today like we usually do. And bank code, actually, let me change this. Bank code is oops, not blurred. I didn't want to blur my yeah, it's just that kind of a day. Did you know that there's five um uh there we go. That's what I was looking for. There's five planets that are in retrograde in November. So you know what? The fact that we have any internet is fantastic. So here's the five subjects that we usually end up talking about in bank. And we actually do have a summit on Monday and Tuesday, and Amanda's going to be there. So I know she got herself a ticket, and Christopher may be there. And if you are interested in coming to a bank code summit, which you will learn a lot, it's all about sales and relationships and just relationships in general. And we talk a lot about business and communication. This is the perfect venue for sales. I know you know a little bit about bank, Amanda. What do you think so far about bank? Because I know you showed up to one of the sessions that we had. Oh, you're muted, honey.
So actually, I went to school and did a lot of study in psychology and human behavior. And I actually love bank. Like it is so good and it's very accurate. And just the little intro that I've had with it, I love it. Like it's so on point.
It is.
It's
It
helped me a
really
lot.
is. So I actually, and Michelle usually comes on here, Michelle Murder, for those of you who have seen this before. Her and I usually do a bit of a bank stint, but she is busy. This is a busy time for Summit. So she's on another summit. She's hosting and speaking. I'm hosting and speaking later. So it's a busy day. It's a busy time of year. And so I'm just going to briefly touch on it just because we do have the summit coming up on Monday and Tuesday. And it is such an amazing, and it's an amazing deal because we're offering it for $497. It's typically 12, not 12, sorry, 1997. And we're offering it for 497. And I'm probably not allowed to announce that, but I'm gonna. And so if you are interested, please DM me and I will get you hooked up with a ticket. It is going to be spectacular and you won't regret it. That is for sure. You will walk away far more enriched. So I met Michelle and Sherry Tree. Sherry Tree, who I consider to be one of the best. In fact, I think she won an award for being best keynote speaker one year. She is an amazing keynote. And her story is fascinating. She had to live in a storage unit for a while to get all of this done. It's a really cool story. So if you're interested, please let me know. Bank has helped me so much. I am personality wise, I am a hardcore A. I am an ANKB. I have a strong nurturing because I am a doctor of metaphysics and I do a lot of healing and coaching and so on and so forth. But my A is like super, super high. So sometimes I want to get things done quicker than other people can move. And so I'm always in a hurry. I'm always juggling several businesses. Most of you know me on here, but if there's someone new here, I literally run about 6 or 7 businesses and I'm about to run a couple more because um I don't know. I think life just needs to be lived. And I am 63. I'm going to be 64 in February. And I'm going strong and I'm just adding instead of subtracting. The idea of retirement does not appeal to me. I don't understand retirement. I don't know what that word means. I think you need to love your job so much that you don't need to retire from it. I might let a few things go. Every year I shift something around. So on top of my amazing coaching, which I also, so I just want to say this, on top of being a coach for the last 38 years, I also took a coaching program with Think and Grow Rich, which I just recently completed. And I did bank. So, you know what? You never stop learning. And that's the secret to staying young. I just got off a call before this. And the lady said to me, she goes, "You do not look like you're anywhere close to your 60s." And I'm like, "Thank you. I will take that." And I think part of that is not only these amazing supplements, which we will talk about later on, but I think also because I love everything, I can hardly wait. I mean, that's not to say that we don't sometimes have glitches, right, Amanda? Oh my gosh, with books all the time. All the time there's something, it's just in how you handle it and the people. And as an entrepreneur, you get to choose who you work with. If these people haven't had a chance to do some work on themselves and they're just plain old mean and there's a lot of anxiety and anger inside of them and they're taking it out on you, you don't have to put up with them. You don't. You can just say, "No, I'm sorry, I can't help you." I don't have what you need and go from there. And so that's the beauty of entrepreneurship. You can pick and choose what you do, and you can pick and choose whether or not you want to retire. I mean, maybe I'll retire at 85, maybe not. I have my friend's mom. She is now 82 and she is still holding classes and retreats, believe it or not. And that's kind of how I see my retirement, so to speak, happening. Retreats, yeah, I'll probably still be doing books with Amanda. And thank God I'm the one that doesn't have to learn all that technology. I would leave that up to the younger people. And I love sales. I love teaching people how to communicate better because honestly, with something like if bank code, like if everyone in the world understood all four personalities, don't you agree that that would help you understand them and them understand you? And we would have peace in the world. I think if everyone did this and if everyone studied this and made an actual effort with it, I mean, you have to use it. It's not enough to just know about it. But, once I know someone's bank code and I understand that they're a blueprint and B is first, I know that they love systems and processes. So I have to show them that aspect of the business or that aspect of here, this is what you get. And it's going to be easy for you. And I had a really hard time because blueprint is the complete opposite of of action, which is my code, my main code. And I want things done now, preferably yesterday, if at all possible. And of course, that's never possible. So I don't have a lot of patience. And I had a hard time relating to these people. I thought to myself, oh my gosh, what's the matter with them? Why are they taking so long to make a decision? But that's how they operate. They move a little slower. They're much more secure. They're awesome and amazing people to have in your life because they're very loyal and they're very integrity based. And I have a huge admiration for integrity. I think integrity is one of the most important things. So when I have a blueprint as a friend or a colleague, or if I'm doing something with them or they're my client, I love them. Whereas before I would be like, I don't understand. how come they can't make a decision in like 3 seconds flat? And they can, they just like to be on firmer ground and just make it much more secure. So like a perfect B example would be like an accountant. my accountant's super fun and but he is a blueprint and, he goes, don't do this, don't do that, do this. And I'm like, And I'm always looking for loopholes because that's what A's do. Loophole. Where's the loophole? Where can I get through? Where can I sneak this in? And he's like, you can't. I'm like, okay, well, at least he keeps me out of jail, right? Which is great. And I remember when I was first taking I started the course and I landed this amazing real estate client who was a heavy blueprint. And he asked a lot of questions and he was very thorough. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of questions for me. I hope I did okay. And you know what? He said yes. And I've already sold two of his properties. He had 9 that he was going to be selling in the next few years. And I'm his girl. I'm the one that gets to do it. Now he just calls me up and he goes, okay, I have another unit for sale. Because we both happen to have invested in the same company where we have some condos. And I've already sold 2 and he's already called me about the third one. So that might not have happened earlier. I'm not going to say it would have happened or it wouldn't have 100%. I don't think it would because he asked some pretty cool questions and I was just like, yeah, I wasn't bored. I wasn't anxious. I wasn't scared. I was just like, well, I hope I answered all his questions. Hopefully he got all his answers. It was, about that. And it just helps me understand people more. That's all. I do my breathing exercises. I do my meditations. All of that helps. But really, it does really honestly, if we could all understand each other, I think we would have world peace. That's just my opinion. I don't think I'm wrong though. I think, if we could sort of trim the ego a little bit and open up to some understanding. I don't know. Do you guys want to comment on this? Christopher, do you have anything to add to this? Or Amanda? I know you haven't been exposed yet, but I'm about to expose you to bank because it's exciting. And Christopher and I just met and we had the best connection ever. And y'all know I like my signs. So he's a Sagittarius. I get along really well with Sagittarius. Guess who else is a Sagittarius on this call? Right? I have 2 Sages with me. These are my people. I'm an Aquarius. I'm a little, after them or before them, depends on how you look at it. Doesn't really matter. And yeah, we get along. There's some fire in there. There's just enough fire to keep, things going. And both of these signs are excellent people with sales because they don't, sorry, this is what I wanted to show. They don't disregard the emotional intelligence, which is hugely important. So I have ANKB is my code. So my N is nurturing and it's all about relationships. It's the reason I want to hug you as soon as I see you. Because that's what nurturers are, and we always used to talk about like cars, which sign would do, like which personality would drive which cars. So I always say A's like, okay, although I'm a hardcore A, I drive an SUV and I love SUVs. But A would be the one that would get the Ferrari. A would be the one that would get the Corvette. That would be an A car. A B car would be a Mercedes or a Volvo would probably be the perfect car for them because they're very secure. They want a good car. K's would probably go for the Tesla, although Tesla goes kind of for everyone. The N's would drive a van because they want to fit in all of their friends into the one car because we're all going to go. It's a big community personality. So it's all about the community. Okay, let's fit in 12 people into the car if we can. So that would be them. That's just a general gist. I'm not saying that's what every personality does. Like I said, I drive an SUV. I'm a big SUV lover. I also live in Canada where there's a lot of snow, but I love SUVs. It's my new comfort zone. I started driving one about 10 years ago, and I'm hooked. I will never go back to a car ever again. I love SUVs so much. What about you, Christopher? What's your car of choice?
So I'm actually a BNAK. So you hit it right on the money. The Mercedes, that's yeah. So
Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you that an A might like it. They might like a Mercedes for different reasons. They want the
productive.
Mercedes because it's a Mercedes.
Mm,
The B wants a Mercedes because it's a well-made car. It's going to last long. It's good. You know what I mean? Like this is, you can write it off or what, I don't know, whatever else. We had actually, I was in a seminar yesterday on taxes and she goes, you can't write off a Corvette. You can write off an SUV. And I'm like, there you go. Amanda, if you had your choice of cars,
So I actually did buy a car, my very first car before my whole license stuff, but I ended up buying a Subaru SUV for the quality and also so I think and because it had a lot of room to store stuff.
see?
So
So she's a
that's me.
BN. She's a
Yeah.
BN, right? Yeah.
mhm.
So and K's K's are actually super cerebrally intelligent. They're the scientists, but they're also the ones that are going to come up against you and and test you and complain and say you don't know this and you're wrong and they're the and people don't always like them that much because they point out different things and sometimes it's true, sometimes it's just their opinion. I actually I was doing a trade show in Pennsylvania last weekend, and there was a lady that came up, and she goes, "How is the candy made out of DNA? How did you extract the DNA out of the candy? Let me hear that." And I go, "Well, I didn't do it." I didn't do it. The company did, and they're all the way in Eastern Europe, and I've never been to the factory, so I really, I know that they do it. I don't know how, but if the FDA approved it, you might be okay with it too. But no, she wasn't okay with that. She's a scientist and she had to, question all the, and I'm like, uh-huh. Normally I would have been like, oh my gosh, like this is, but then as soon as she opened her mouth, I knew she was a hardcore K and I'm like, she has to do this. This is what happens if she doesn't do it, she's going to scream. Like she's going to burst into flames or something like this isn't going to work for her if she doesn't get this out of her system. And I'm like, yeah, you go ahead. And I'm just like, uh-huh. Would you like to try one? Nope. Because, and I have a friend that's a hardcore K and I'm like, she goes, oh, I'm going to research this. She researches everything. They're big research. When the person said, I have to research this first, that's them. So, and plus they're the like Sheldon on what's the name of that Big Bang Theory, the TV show Big Bang Theory. It's Sheldon, hardcore K, hardcore. You can't like he this is how he sees things, but they're so much fun and they're so smart. They're super smart. Actually, they're probably the smartest person in the entire world. In the room, they're probably the smartest person for sure. Super smart, but the way they communicate it is a little harsh sometimes, and especially for an N. Oh my gosh, an N wants to be told, you know, we're not going to move forward with this because, for the community, it'll be better if we do this. Like, and that's, whatever. But, but with them, they're like, no, we're not doing that. And that will shake up like that will hurt an N's feelings. It will irritate an A because they're trying to get their thing across. But once we learn, you just kind of walk away and you're like, yep, you're not going to let up, and that's fine. And they're hard in sales when you come up against a K. Here's the biggest tip: is nobody can close a K. The only person that can close a K is the K himself or herself. You have to answer all the questions that they ask you if you can. Give them extra information that's either on paper or something, and just leave them alone. And frequently they will close themselves quickly, but not usually. So like when I was taking the course, we had to do presentations on how we would act if we were doing the speaking on stage, and now we were trying to sell the product. So we would say there's 4 corners in the room. So, okay, everyone who's ready right now, so and so, like Amanda's over there in the corner waiting for you, for all of you who are ready right now. So that would be the A's, because the A's buy first. They don't overthink anything. In fact, they should probably ask a couple more questions. Like, that's how fast they are. And that would be me. If I like it and I feel it and I'm feeling it, I'm in. We're done. But I'm in all the way then, and I'm doing it. If I committed, I committed. So that's a really good quality to have, right? So we're first. And then we'll go, okay, over there in the corner, we have some systems and processes and some paperwork we need you to fill out. That's going to be for our Bs, so we need to give them some systems and we're going to explain some of the processes that we have in the company, but you will fill out, a certain amount of, so that's for them. And you're going to speak like this. For the A's, you're going to go over there in the corner, and Amanda's going to help you. Over there, Christopher will take your information. He'll give you some documents to fill out, and then, we'll be ready, and you can decide which one you would like, because you have to empower them. Then it's, and if you're all looking for a hug, go over to Sandy over there in the corner. She's going to give you a big hug. And then you can decide if you want to start with the vault, or you want to start with this, and you can figure that out. And she'll give you a hug while you're there. So that's that corner. And then for those of you who still have some questions, stay here, and I'm going to answer some of those for you, and blah blah blah. So if you still have further questions, so that's obviously Kay, and and they have to, and you can't just say, hey, what do you think? No, don't even bother. Just give them the information and let them decide. They will come to you or they won't. And it's funny because we have a really cool guy that, now I've only been with Bank for a year. He's been with them for 3 years, but I've watched him, even just in the short year, I've watched him grow. And he's softened himself up, and he's super smart man, super successful, knows what he's doing. I thoroughly would trust him. It's not even about any of that. It's just sometimes the way they communicate, it's a little, it's like, you don't know what you're talking about. I know this. And my friend's husband is a hardcore K, and he goes, I don't understand. How come you don't know this? How come you don't know that? And then he'll ask me questions, and I'm like, what? Why are you asking me that? I go, I don't know the answer to that. He goes, how do you get along? I have a friend. He's also with me in one of the businesses I do, and he'll be like, well, how do you do this? And I go, I don't know. I don't really know the answer to the question. Like, I just do it. I talk to people. I ask them what they want. That's my thing. It's all about them, because it shouldn't really ever be about you anyways. And it's just relationships. And some people talk more and some people talk less. And believe it or not, at some point I just shut up and let them talk. And I know I'm a talker. I know that's an unusual thing for me, but that's what I do. And so it's amazing. And I think it's the next greatest big hit. We're looking to spread this across the world as much as possible. And we are looking for trainers. We need trainers. Sherry Tree does a lot of speaking at a lot of very large events, and they do get a lot of business. So we're looking for hardcore trainers, because we need them. We need them. And you won't regret it. It's so much fun, and the company's great, and the culture's great, and they stand for different wonderful things. They have Kids Matter and People Matter. Those are charities that they run, and it's an amazing business. I'm going to leave it at that, because it is 9:30, and I do want to let Christopher speak, because Christopher Anthony is an amazing human being. I had a very short chat with him. We both belong to the same networking group, and we clicked instantly. Like, this young man is so smart and so calm and balanced, and he does a few different things. I know he's a sales guru, and he does, I believe, two things. Maybe he does more, and I don't even know. But he's also an ex university football player. So not only is he smart, he's in really awesome shape. So with that, Christopher, because I don't read bios because I think bios are, they're okay. Whatever else you would like us to know, please tell us. And I'm going to turn myself off now and I'm going to turn you on. So if you would kindly unmute yourself and I'm going to mute myself, please help me welcome Christopher to the stage. Christopher, take it away.
Awesome. I guess if I had to say anything else, I would say that my son is a hardcore K. And when I tell you we have the clash of a lifetime, it is awesome. I love it. He's definitely going to be a doctor, every single piece of him.
I love
So,
it.
Christopher Anthony, I hope everyone's doing well. Good morning. Every relationship in your life is connected to how you see yourself. Really think about that. That's the part no one teaches us. We learn how to treat people, but nobody teaches us how our identity shapes the people we even choose to treat. We learn to be nice, but nobody explains how be nice turns into be numb. When your identity is underdeveloped, and today, I'm not talking romantic relationships. This isn't men need to do this, women need to do that. This is identity. And identity touches every relationship, personal, professional, family, friendships, platonic, colleagues, yourself, and your calling. Identity walks into every room before you do. Let me tell you something. So there was a season in my life when I look in the mirror, and after I told myself how good I looked, I'd see the version of me everybody depended on, but not the version I actually was. Uh, as Marianne says, I looked strong, but I was tired, quiet tired, the kind of tired that if you were to say one more word, you might cry, quit your job, block three people, and this is all before lunch. And that's when I realized your identity speaks before your mouth ever opens. Relationships don't start when two people meet, they start when your identity meets theirs. So I can't see you all, but I want to ask you this question, past or present. You ever walk into work confident just to realize your identity walked in first? Like you walked in the building, but the play it safe version of you clocked in early and took your seat. Your resume walked in bold and ready to rumble. But your identity walked in whispering and it was saying, let's just blend in today. Now, that's not insecurity, that's identity. Still running that old software in a new assignment. So I want to bring someone into the room. Her name is Jordan. High achiever, sharp, brilliant, but her identity was shrinking in every environment she walked into. Room one, work. Every idea started with, I'm sorry, this might sound silly, but one thing I noticed, women will apologize before giving brilliance. But when it comes to men, I mean, we just walk in confidently, even if we don't even have a point. It's two, and Marianne agrees. Friends, her emotional intelligence level was at 100%, while her friends were running emotional dial-up, one bar, buffering. And if you try to go deep, their whole spirit starts to load. Room three, the dating experience. She kept choosing potential. Yes, potential. Like potential was a characteristic trait. She said, these are the only relationships I've known. And when I told Jordan, I said, no, these are just the relationships that match how you saw yourself. Identity chooses before emotion does. Now, let me give you a picture. Imagine your identity as a house with four doors. that every relationship walks through. Let me make them a little more real for you, okay? One, the familiar door, the I already know how this ends door. Same storyline, new season. It's like Netflix renewing a show that nobody even asked for. Door two, the functional door. The we're not actually close, but we keep showing up for the same people door. Group projects, family events, shared trauma circles. This door is held together by obligation, not connection. Door three, the emotional door. That's the my therapist warned me door. These relationships were built on your oldest beliefs about love and worthiness. You're healed now. But somehow these people still want the unhealed version of you. And then you have door four, the future door. This door only opens when your identity expands. And listen, so I'm from Texas. This door talks the way that you expect a Texas door to talk, okay? This is the door with a woman standing in front of it. Maybe she's maybe 6'5", looking as if she's seen some things. You know what I mean? People walk past intimidated, like, yeah, she looks like she does CrossFit and Bible study at the same time. Because if someone even thinks about coming through wrong, she blocks them and quickly says, bless your heart and bless your head, baby. Not today. This door does not allow confusion, chaos, or unhealed courage. If your identity doesn't shift, you keep choosing the same door. Psychology calls it self-concept congruence. Your relationships match the picture you hold of yourself. Neuroscience calls it pattern matching, if you've ever heard that. Your brain bonds with what feels familiar, not necessarily what's healthy. Leadership calls it relational intelligence. I'm a simpleton. As we talked about, I'm the blueprint. I like process. I keep things very simple. I call it one word, alignment. Alignment doesn't ask, do I love them? Alignment asks, do they honor who I'm becoming? Now, let me talk to the real you, the you behind the strength, behind the I'm fine, behind the performance. Some of you learn strength as survival, but survival is not identity. And look, I'm not saying go around yelling, this is my truth. Dude, let's not do that, okay? Because listen, if you're out here yelling, this is my truth, we need to get you away from as many millennials as we can. And anybody going through the midlife crisis wanting to be a millennial, okay? We need clarity, not chaos in capital letters. People skills, not TikTok confidence. Sometimes the real you only comes out after 9 p.m. I call it the after hours you. After hours, you're honest, direct, clear. After hours, you aren't confused. Confusion may send you a paragraph, but the after hours you replies with, yeah, no. After hours you does not do chaos. Chaos shows up like, can we talk? But the after hours you says, not in this lifetime. After hours you does not do almost. Almost is that person who I always like to say almost communicates, almost grows, almost follows through every 2 to 3 business days. After hours you says, you're not almost, you're almost outside. But here's the truth. If the only time the real you speaks is when you're drained, your relationships are negotiating with your exhaustion, not your identity. Let me give you a story you'll never forget. Picture a room full of chairs. Each chair represents something: my past self, my boss, my comfort zone, my best friend, my purpose, my peace, my calling, my inner critic. And yes, one chair also has a handwritten name tag. Scott. Every time she enters the room, she sits in the same chair, even though it doesn't fit anymore. One day she walks in, looks around, and says, "These chairs don't fit me anymore." So she picks up every chair, including Scott, and carries them out. People ask, "Why take all the chairs?" She says, "Because I realized I'm not supposed to sit until my identity decides what belongs." So she stands in an empty room, not scared, not lonely, peaceful, because she finally understood she wasn't choosing chairs based on who she was becoming. She was choosing based on patterns. Slowly, the right chairs return. And just so you all know, before anybody asks, Scott did not make the cut. And some of you all have your own Scott. You have the corporate Scott. You have the family Scott, situationship Scott. Why are you still texting me, Scott? I thought we ended this in 2019, Scott. COVID made me do it, Scott. Blocked on everything but email, Scott. Lord, why is he back? Scott, whoever your Scott is, that's between you and your clarity. But the truth still stands. Some of you have outgrown the room, but never updated the chairs. Okay, so again, I can't see you, so you have to do this. Grab your pen, grab your phone, your notes app, whatever you got. Write this down. Who I've been, who I am, who I'm becoming. Look at those lines. Let them stare back at you. Now, repeat this with me. Who I've been. Can you hear that?
Yeah, it's
Apologies.
been a little fuzzy, but we can hear you.
Okay, there we go. Who I've been. I'll say it again. Who I've been, who I am, who I'm becoming. Some of you all built relationships that only match the first line. Again, who I've been, who I am, who I'm becoming. Some of you live in that middle line, but your spirit is calling you to the third. And then one more time, who I've been, who I am, who I'm becoming. Now, circle the line you want your relationships to match. You're not circling words, you're circling identity. So let's land this. Some of you aren't exhausted. You're just over invested in connections your future never asked for. Some of you don't have trust issues. You have clarity. Some of you don't need better people skills. You just need better people. Peace isn't avoiding people. Peace is choosing people who don't punish your growth. Your calling cannot bloom in soil watered by people who only knew the old you. Here's the truth. When your identity shifts, every relationship in your life must be reevaluated, renegotiated, or released. Not because you changed, but because you finally recognize what deserves access to you. Marianne, thank you for letting me speak. Thank you all for letting me speak into your identity today. Honor what came up, trust what shifted, update your room, choose your chairs, choose you, because clarity is currency.
Wow. Wow. Do y'all agree with me? Wow. So this is live streaming on my Facebook, so you're welcome to share it on yours if you'd like as well. And any comments will appear there, but also it stays up there for a month, so people will comment on it as we go along. I would like you to put your contact info underneath it, like somewhere in the chat. That would be amazing, but I don't want you to stop talking. I want you to continue talking because that was so good. Was that not like the best ever? I just absolutely love that. People who don't punish your growth. I love that. Oh my goodness. Yes, I see that you had to run for a minute. Hopefully, you'll be okay and you'll be able to stay with us. There's a lot of technology issues going on today. Uh, there are, like I said, several planets in retrograde, Mercury being one of them. Mercury is in charge of all of our, it's the K in the family. It's in charge of all of our technology, and it has a tendency to act up. So I'm hoping I can get through the rest of my speakers without getting interrupted. I had to miss a call today because I didn't have I didn't have any internet. So hopefully everything will be okay. That was absolutely amazing, full of all kinds of nuggets. I'm going to repeat who I've been, who I am, and who I am becoming. I love that. I think that in itself is a huge, huge nugget. And I love Christopher. I knew that we just, I operate a lot on feeling because I do have a very strong nurturing. So I do whatever I feel, I act on it. That's a huge importance to me because I've been in several work relationship situations where I'm just not feeling it. And if I'm not feeling it, I just can't get into it. But when I'm talking to somebody on the phone and I'm like, oh, that energy is something I need to learn more about. I have to talk to this person. So that is Christopher. That was some seriously golden nuggets you've just dropped. So thank you so much for that. Absolutely amazing. I know you have to go back to work, but stay with us as long as you can. But I'm not offended because I know you have to go. And thank you so much for creating this time to come on to my summit because I'm so happy you did. And we got to do more of this. And we have more to talk about because you're awesome. So thank you so much.
Thank
Everyone,
you.
Christopher's going to put his info in the chat. And if you can't find the info and you want to connect with him, please connect with me and I will be happy to connect you to him. He does some really great work and he's absolutely an amazing human being. So back to us until Dr. Carolyn joins us. Hopefully she's okay with everything. I don't see any additional anything here. Let me just see. I don't see anyone. Yeah, usually everyone's like, I can't get in. I'm having tech issues. So we also had to switch Lori, who is flying. She usually opens up for me. It's a big tradition. But she was actually flying in the air and unable to actually open. So she will join us in about an hour or so. And prior to that, I'm going to let Amanda talk a little bit because she is an amazing editor and does all of my books. And so, Amanda, do you want to tell us a little about you and how awesome you are? Or I could tell them how awesome you are, but it's better if they don't always have to listen to my voice.
Well, I am Amanda Renault and I work with Marianne in her publishing company, and I do her editing and her format and all the moving parts to making books beautiful. So we've had the opportunity and the pleasure to do quite a few books this year, many books, and they were all bestsellers and all full of amazing, talented authors and entrepreneurs that I personally love. Really great knowledge in every single one of those books. And what I like about Marianne's anthologies is that they are always full of different people with different walks of life in different industries and sectors. And they just have so much knowledge about business and about just everything they're doing. And so I get to read all that many, many times. So it's like really fun for me because I always learn something really cool. And yeah, we've done, I don't know, I think there's like 4 or 5 books.
I don't
There's
even know who can keep
a
track, but I
lot.
love the way she said many, many times. That's not the goal. people, that is not the goal for us to have to read this many times, many times. The
Well, I
goal,
like reading it many times because I'm a accuracy person. So I'm just
she
like, I
is.
want to read that over and over.
And it's appropriate that that B, I think I think you're BN as well. You're similar to Christopher because the B is if she wasn't a B, if she was like me, she wouldn't be able to do the formatting. The formatting is, oh man, if I had to do formatting, first of all, if someone held a gun to me and said, you now have to do your own formatting, I'm done with publishing. That's the first thing. There's no way I could do it. It's like somebody who was it sent me an Excel spreadsheet because she had the schedule of the of something on there. And I'm like, what? Do you need me to fill anything in here? Because I'm allergic to Excel spreadsheets, so I can't do this. And she goes, I know you are. It's just for you to have. I thought it was the funniest thing. I have a tough time being, yeah, I don't even want to, thank goodness I don't have to show you what my desk looks like now, because I did a bunch of trade shows and I have 2 more coming up and I've got all kinds of stuff going on here. So it's kind of funny. Oh, Christopher, if you can hear me, you're putting it here into the chat. I need you to go onto my Facebook page, and underneath the live, that's where you should put your info as well. They'll actually see it there. I don't think they're going to have access to that. Copy. Okay, good. That's a guy thing. Copy. I had an ex-boyfriend that used to say, copy that. Okay. I love it. It's the best. Yeah. So thank God for Amanda. That's all I'm going to say. Sorry, please continue.
Yeah, formatting is a really tedious job, and yeah, you have to be very like articulate, and you have to be able to like hyper focus, and there's a lot of steps, and if you miss a step or like it can be really a lot of hours. But I really like it. My favorite part probably I think is doing the cover designs with Marianne, because we both get to like combine our creativity and play around. So that's probably one of my favorite parts about books. And of course, networking and getting to meet all kinds of people.
Yes, it is. It's a lot of work and it's a lot of fun work for me because I don't have to do the the hyper focusing on that and the creative part. Oh, what do you think we should do this? Oh, I found this picture. Do you think you could do this and this to that? And she does. Don't ask me how. It's magical. I just give it to her and that's people are my amazing talent. Formatting, Excel spreadsheets, not my thing. So that's for my blueprint friends who are perfect and who love doing that. Like, hang on, where am I? Amanda, who can do that because that's very tedious for me. That would suck up a lot of my energy, and I wouldn't have any for the rest of everything else I do. People connecting, networking events. I go to several networking events that are online and sometimes in person throughout the week. So those are my talents, talking to people, coaching, this kind of thing. I've run master classes, real estate, as you all know. Real estate is random. That really, takes me out of the whole day. And now with trying to do all these trade shows, that's exciting. Yeah. Yeah, it takes a special kind of personality to take that on too. So, but some of the stuff is easy for me because I've been running virtual summits for about 6 years now, but for 2 years straight, I've been doing it once every month. And people are like, how do you do them every month? And I said, I've simplified everything. I don't like reading bios. When I first started, I read bios, and then I did a little bit of a survey, and turns out people don't like listening to bios. So if I just tell them 1 or 2 sentences about people, that seems to work best. And so to say, here's Amanda, she does my amazing thing. If she wants to tell you how many times she's been an international bestseller and this, that, and the other, she can. But we've both done so many books, and all of our books are international bestseller anyways. So, to say, 34 times, who cares? Like, nobody really cares. They just care how we're going to react with them anyways. So any final words for us, Amanda? And not that you're leaving, because you're going to be throughout here. We'll be talking about the APL Go after as well. But I see Dr. Carolyn Rubin has joined us, so I want to be able to introduce her. Any
Yeah,
thoughts?
I'm good. Thank you for having me, Marianne.
Oh no, you're staying here with me. You're my, yeah, you're my girl. She's my right-hand person. And you know what? This is what you should be doing too. Use the talents that are your talents and then go find the other talents that you don't have. Amanda has all the talents I don't, and the patience for all the things that there's no way. I just no. I just am not going to do that. That's all there is to it. I either have to find someone else or I have to stop doing it. There's no way I'm doing that. She's like the other half of me. So thank you so much. We'll talk more, but I highly recommend Amanda. So with that, I will introduce you to the most amazing Dr. Carolyn Rubin. She is an expert in leadership development. She is a sought-after life coach, global speaker, author, and best-selling author and host of the fast-growing podcast Empower Fuse. And with that, I give you Dr. Carolyn Rubin.
Thank you, Marianne. It's such a pleasure to be here with you today and be able to talk about leadership is a relationship, right? So when we think about leadership, a lot of time we talk about, what's the goals or the strategy, performance. That's what we hear a lot. But really, it comes down to leadership not as a title, but leadership as a relationship. Because people, they don't follow authority. They follow connections. We can have titles, we can have resumes that, might be 10 pages long, but it all comes down to the fact that people will follow those who are present. They follow someone who will actually listen to them, someone who cares, and someone who will honor their humanity. And when we think about leadership, that comes alive, not in the job description, but it comes alive in the moments in between. So what we're going to explore today is really leadership and how it truly lives through connection, and why the impact that we leave behind is shaped by how we choose to show up for people. Because many leaders, there's a truth that they won't say out loud. We spend so much time perfecting strategies that we forget the simple human truth. People don't remember our strategies. You were saying this as I came on about Excel spreadsheets, right? Nobody remembers the number of spreadsheets we created or the strategies that we handed out. They remember how we made them feel. And connection, it's not a soft leadership skill. We have to have that connection. It is a strong leadership skill. It is a sustainable leadership. When we can build connection, it'll actually transform a culture, transform a team. It will transform outcomes. I know for me, trust is the currency of leadership. If you think about it, every relationship we have, it doesn't matter if it's personal, professional, team, or family, it rises and falls on one question: do I trust you? Leadership will rise or fall on one question: do I trust you? Because they don't say, I like your expertise. Oh, by the way, your resume is perfect. I love it. People will look at you and say, do I trust that you are who you say you are? Trust is not built in big moments. It's built in the small ones. How do you show up? Do you show up when you say you will? That one small moment will build trust. Do you follow through on what you say you're going to do? And you don't need applause. You don't need a pat on the back. You just do it. And do you listen in the presence, or do you listen while multitasking? Because if you're listening while you're multitasking, you're not listening. You're not present. And we own our mistakes, and we can't get defensive about them. We take it, we own it. We just figure it out. And My favorite, and this is what I say and I live by, you have to treat every person at every level with dignity. You have to treat every person at every level with dignity, because trust, it's the quietest leadership skill, but it yields the loudest impact. We've all worked with leaders that they maybe weren't the most charismatic in the room. They weren't the loudest. And you know what? They didn't have a corner office voice, but everyone trusted them. That's what mattered. And why did they trust them? They were always consistent. Their actions always aligned with their words, and their presence didn't change just because the audience did. They were trusted. They earned the trust. But here's a question I want you to ask yourself. What is it like to experience me as a leader? So ask yourself, what is it like for someone to experience you as a leader? Do people breathe easier when you walk in a room or when you walk out of the room? Think about it. Do people breathe easier when you walk in or when you walk out? And are you authentic? Because authenticity helps to build connection, not authority. The greatest leaders are not above people, they stand among them. And we build that connection when we're curious, not judgmental. And we ask the right questions. We're present. We're not distracted when we are sitting down and having those conversations. And we are honest. And we are real. We're not just performing leadership. We are real. Because people don't need perfect leaders. And we can try all we want, but it's really difficult to be a perfect leader. But it's key to remember, people don't want perfect leaders. They want human leaders. Authenticity is not transparency without boundaries. It's honesty with intention. It's the courage to say, I don't have the answer, but you know what? I'm going to stay right here with you until we get it. I'm going to walk through this with you until we come up with those answers, because we don't have all the answers. And when leaders show up as real people, not perfected versions of themselves, a team will actually exhale. They feel like they can breathe. They'll take on more risk. They'll speak more honestly, and they will feel safe to be human too. Because authenticity, we give people permission to bring the truth instead of a performance. I want people to feel like they can come in and ask a question and get an answer and know that they continue to grow, they continue to do well, because connection is strengthened whenever we do those small everyday gestures. Let's just think about it. What if we call someone by their name? Instead of just saying good morning, what if we say, good morning, Marianne? How are you doing today? When we make eye contact, when we're speaking with them, don't just say it as we pass by a cubicle, but actually stop and look at them and say, how are you doing? And when they're talking, ask follow-up questions so that they know you truly are listening to what they have to say. But here's my favorite. You got to check in on them as a human before you check in on them about a task. If all they see is that you're just concerned about the task, you're never going to have that small moment. So check in on the human. before the task and celebrate. Even the smallest of victories, we need to celebrate. They may not have been perfect. We may have stumbled along the way, but we made it happen. Celebrate as if it's Christmas. Celebrate as if it's New Year's. But you need to celebrate because those small acts, they will build big belongings. I want you to take a minute and think about a leader who shaped your life the most. For me, it was one of my instructors when I went back to school to be a medical assistant. She was genuine with everybody. She was always there to listen and had a heart of gold. She wasn't perfect. She always had her mistakes, just like all the rest of us. She didn't have a title. She didn't even have an office. She had the classroom. That was it. But it was the fact that if you had a conversation with her, she didn't rush you through it. You could sit there and talk as long as you needed to talk. She always had eye contact going. And if you were in tears, she was in tears. If you were laughing, she was laughing. She was right there, truly present in the conversation. But most of all, she believed in you before you ever did in yourself. She is one that would say, Carolyn, you are going to make things happen. You're going to go out and you're going to change the world. And little did I know when I was talking to her 34 years ago, this is where I would be today. But she was a big part of that influence. They believe in you. They connect with you at a level of your humanity, and that becomes a lasting legacy. Now, I want you to take a minute and put into the chat, what is one thing I value in a leader? Or complete this sentence, one thing I value in a leader is. Because you see, what people value reveals what people need. And leadership is meeting people where they are. So one thing I value in a leader is, and see what those responses are, because what people value reveals what people need. You see, strong relationships don't form accidentally. They grow through intentional communication. And communication isn't just about what we say, it's what people experience when we say it. We communicate daily in meetings, in passing by, in just how we see somebody at lunch. We communicate daily. But how do people experience it when you say it? Because it's that emotional footprint your words leave behind that builds the connection. Great communicators create clarity, but they will also reduce emotional noise. They will slow down enough to understand the meaning beneath the message. There's 3 powerful leadership communication practices I want to share with you right now. One of them is called slow the pace to raise the clarity. See, when emotions start to rise, the best thing to do is to slow your voice. Soften your tone of your voice and increase your presence, because that will help to raise the clarity and put the emotions back down. The second one is to seek meaning before offering solutions. So don't just say, hey, go do this. Marianne, I want you to try this, or go do that. Ask for clarity. Help me understand, Marianne, what are you really experiencing? what is really happening so that we know what solutions to offer. We should always seek that out first and then mirror what we hear. So repeat it back. What I'm hearing is this. Does that feel accurate? Does that sound correct? And that one single practice can prevent a misunderstanding and help build trust with your team, with your family, with your friends. Because if you think about it, most conflicts, they don't come from disagreements. They come from people not feeling heard. And as leaders, our communication, we should clarify, not confuse people. We should understand what's going on, not just assume that we know what's happening with that individual. We need to ask those questions. And above all, we need to empower them to be the best that they can be. Don't diminish them. Any little empowerment goes a long ways. Because listening, it's not passive. It's presence in motion. I have a theme that has been with me for 34 years. It's called Listen with Your Eyes. Because it's all about communication, non-verbal communication and verbal communication. We listen with our posture. We listen with our eyes, our attention, our stillness. But listening with our eyes sends one message. You matter in this moment. And people can feel when you mean it. When you listen with your eyes, you're seeing and hearing more than what their words are saying. You're seeing what their body language is telling you. You're seeing if it matches what they're saying. So what I want you to do is think of one person at work or at home right now who needs your presence more than your productivity. And who is that person? What conversation have you postponed? Or what encouragement have you not provided because you assumed they already knew it? Or what acknowledgement have you yet to speak? See, these are opportunities where connection begins again. Because your presence sets the emotional tone. Leadership is emotional stewardship. And your presence sets the tone before your words ever can. So think about it. If a leader is anxious when they walk into the room, what happens? The room tightens. But if they're grounded, then everyone in the room is kind of like, okay, we can do this. Steadies itself out. The leader's encouraging, that room's going to become twice the size that it was when you walked in. But if a leader is dismissive, that room is going to shrink. We don't influence performance. We influence identity. And influence is not about being the loudest voice in the room. It's about being the most grounded one. Because people will watch how you react under pressure and how you treat people who can't offer you anything. People will also watch how you speak about others when they're not in the room. And they'll watch how you choose grace when frustration is easier. Your influence is shaped in quiet, unglamorous leadership moments. Because it really does come down to how do we regulate our own emotions? And how do we regulate the emotional climate of a room? Your calm can become contagious and your steadiness becomes safety. But your belief becomes someone else's courage. So the question to ask, are people rising under your leadership, or are they shrinking under it? Here's another question for you. What is it like to grow under your leadership? Do people feel safe? Do they feel supported? Best of all, do they feel trusted and seen? Because influence isn't measured on how loudly we speak, but how deeply people feel our presence. Connection can shape your legacy. And if you think about it, legacy isn't built at the end of your life. It's something that you live every single day. So what do you want your legacy to look like? What's the tone when you walk into a room? The belief you speak into people, or the stability you offer during uncertainty? What does that look like? And what about the compassion you show when someone is struggling silently? Do you ignore them? Or do you take time to see how they're doing? Do you take time to see if they need anything? Because legacy is created in just those ordinary interactions that become extraordinary memories. And when you lead with connection, people will work with heart, not just compliance. They come in and they will collaborate with each other without the fear. And innovation will rise because people feel safe to try. They feel safe to go do because they see that you are. Sometimes it's okay to color outside the lines. We might get more done. It's great to hear other people's ideas. Let that innovation come through because culture will strengthen and dignity becomes the norm. Connection multiplies impact. So far beyond what any title alone could ever produce, it's the connections we make in our life. Marianne, I loved when I joined and you were talking about you don't do a lot with the bios because what do people remember, right? It's not about how many books have I written, how many bestsellers are there, how many things have I done. It really comes down to what was the difference I made in a person's life? How did I empower them to grow? How did I empower them to be the best that they could be and be the success that they wanted to be, right? And at the end of our careers, people won't remember those spreadsheets. They won't remember our schedules or the metrics we created. But what they will remember is our warmth, our encouragement. They'll remember our grace and our belief in them, and they'll remember our presence when they needed someone steady. Because your humanity, when they felt alone, you were there, you listened, you encouraged them, and your ability to see that potential before they ever could, just like my instructor did with me. You pass that message on because leadership is lived in those moments, and moments become memories, and memories become legacy. When we lead through connection, we leave fingerprints on people's futures. And that's leadership at its highest level. How many fingerprints do you have around the world? That's what the connection is all about. Connection is power. It's leadership as a relationship. And relationships are where legacy lives. So you lead where you are. You lead with what you have. And you lead in a way that honors the humanity in every single person you encounter. Because the greatest power that you carry as a leader is the power of connection. And if you choose connection over control, presence over pressure, humanity over hierarchy, you don't just lead more efficiently, you lead more meaningfully. Connection is the power. Leadership is a relationship. And relationships are where legacies live. Everything we've talked about today, trust, connection, communication, influence, humanity, all comes back to that foundational truth that leadership is and always has been a relationship. It's not a role. It's not a resume. It's not a spotlight, but a relationship. A relationship with the people you lead, a relationship with the culture that you create, and a relationship with the humanity that you're honoring, not once in a while, but every single day. So as I wrap up, I want you to remember, lead where you are. Lead with what you have, but lead in a way that honors the humanity in every person you encounter. Because titles don't transform people. Connection does. Presence does. Trust does. Consistency does. Compassion does. And relationships do. And when you choose connection over control, presence over pressure, and humanity over hierarchy, you don't just become a better leader, you become a leader that people want to follow. Your legacy won't be measured in tasks or timelines, but in the lives you've touched along the way. Because at the end of the day, at the end of every career, again, the truth is simple. Leadership is a relationship, and relationship is the power that changes everything. Marianne, thank you for having me on today. Truly enjoyed this.
Thank you so much, Dr. Carolyn. Oh my gosh. I have like 3 pages of notes. And I think if I had more time, I would. And what did she say now? I missed that one because I was writing this one down. So I'm going to have to watch the replay, but I agree with everything you said. Literally everything you said. Hang on, let me change the view here so I can see you. Absolutely amazing. So true. Connection is power. It's funny because I was thinking of a specific group that I'm in, and we've got a leader that's a little bit pressure oriented. And I thought to myself, gosh, if you would just focus a little more on connecting with the people and helping us that way, as opposed to, this is what I need from you. And it's like, I feel like I'm back in my sales job, back when, and I'm like, this is my business. Like, you can't,
Right.
this isn't the way you should be talking to me. Why are you talking to me that way? Like, the reason I got out of stuff is because people were talking to me that way. Like,
Right.
the reason, I mean, you know what? All entrepreneurship is, let's face it, not for everyone.
That's correct. It's not.
It's not for everyone. And there's a lot that goes on in entrepreneurship. There's that whole lack of security, and nobody gives me a paycheck at the end of the day or at the end of the week, or now I have this much vacation. Yeah, I might get a vacation that year, I might not. Like,
Right.
especially when you're starting out, or when there's a big shift in the economy. And I'm not blaming the economy, don't everybody come after me. I'm not, it's just things change,
They do.
I
Yeah.
have, real estate is a big part of my life, and the last year has been very different. So I, had the pleasure of spending time in other parts of my business, and everything is different, and you have to be ready to pivot. It's like, in 2020 when we all had to pivot one way or
Right.
another. I mean, there was so much pivoting going on. I got dizzy. So,
Right.
so
I
it
think
was,
everybody did.
I think so too. I mean, there was so much going on, and I finally got to work from home, which is what I wanted to do for a long time. So,
Right.
and sometimes you're stuck. Oh, I got to finish this deal. Oh, I closed this deal. Oh, I'm going to stay here.
Right.
And then I liked where I worked. Like there wasn't, anything terribly wrong with the office that I worked at. It was fun. But I wanted to work from home. Like maybe if I could come in 1 day or 2 days in the week, but the boss didn't want that. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to have to do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like that. And this was, yeah, it's like, why are you leading with pressure when that's not what any of us want?
Right.
So yeah,
It,
there's a
it's
lot.
it's tough. I mean, when somebody is leading with pressure, and it's one thing to say, look, we've got to hit these deadlines, we have these goals, but how do we do it together?
That's right.
It's one, and yeah, we all have those that we might have to go hit, but it's like be a part of the solution and say, okay, here's what we need, but how do we do this together? How do we achieve the outcome that we need? And again, you're walking amongst them to help get things done, to help meet those goals. And pretty soon they're all coming up with ideas, right? And we're all like trying different things to make it happen, but we're doing it together. Because to your point, if you just go in with an iron fist and say, this is what we have to do, this is what we have to get done, people are not as productive
That's true.
because they just feel like they're a pawn in a game, not a person sitting there having a conversation.
It's true. And I love the way, what did you do before you became an entrepreneur?
So I've been in healthcare for 34 years. I actually sold real estate and I owned my own restaurant prior to getting into healthcare. But I started out on the clinical side and then went into the operational side and then became just a speaker. I've been doing this for a long time, but most of the time I was on the oncology side. I spent 20 years in oncology and I would travel the states. Key message was listen with your eyes with
Oh,
oncology practices and really helping them to focus on patients and to be able to not just hear what they said, but to really see what they were saying. That was a result of my grandpa, conversations with him because he had cancer. And while he was getting great clinical care, they weren't really hearing what he had to say with the concerns about my grandma. So, Listen with Your Eyes was built from that. And I have spent the last 34 years in healthcare just doing a lot on communication and growth and empowerment. But I've had my talk show now for 2 years,
I love
been
it.
part of John Maxwell since 2018
Wow.
and several other things going on at this point in time, but just absolutely having fun, empowering individuals and helping them to grow into whatever they want to be.
Oh yeah, totally. Almost everything you said was, well, not almost everything you said falls right into the whole emotional intelligence here with the bank
It
code.
does.
It's what we repeatedly do. I love, like, there's so many nuggets and so many things that you said, earn the trust. Trust is the quietest leadership skill. It really is.
Yeah.
If you can't have
hmm
people trust you, they will never feel safe around you. And if people don't feel safe, they're always
Yeah.
going to be tight, and it's
Yeah.
never going to be authentic. You can't have the authenticity without feeling safe.
Correct.
I had the best compliment. And just this morning before I got on here, I actually had a call and the lady said to me, she goes, oh my gosh, she goes, I love how real and authentic you are. And I said, yeah, like it's ridiculous. We're all entrepreneurs. Why are you
Right.
pretending this, that, or
Yeah.
the other? Like you don't need to pretend everything is perfect because I know it's not. No
Right.
no one's that good. No one's
Yeah.
that perfect that everything is perfect. It's never going to
Yeah.
be perfect, and that's okay. And stop teaching people and coaching people that perfection is, there's so many people doing that. And I'm like, why are you
Right.
doing that? They're never going to
Yeah.
be prepared for anything. It's like, the helicopter parents. I don't have kids, so I don't know some of the stuff, but it's like, oh yeah, no, everything he does is perfect. No, it isn't.
Yeah.
How's he gonna
No,
survive the
far
world?
from, yeah, far from being perfect.
Like,
Authentic, yes, but
uh,
perfect, no. I will
yeah,
never.
are your kids really perfect? Like, come
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
You're teaching your kid that everything that he does is perfect. How's he going to survive in the world when the first person that tells him, yeah, no, that's wrong. What?
yeah. It's gonna
Like,
be very tough. Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not,
exactly right.
oh my gosh. Wait, there was some other things. I'm just, because I saw that Andre came in and he must have had some technology issues and must have left, because that's usually the way it goes. Let me just see if there's anything I can do here. No, it just doesn't look like he's here. So let me see. Speaker. No, can't see him anywhere. Oh my goodness. That's okay. He'll be in shortly. I love to soften your voice. So a long time ago, I took an online course with Harvard, and I think it was negotiation that I had taken, and one of the things was, how you keep your voice just very monotone,
Mm-hmm.
very emotionless. Not that
Yeah.
that's the way we are through life, of course, but when you're negotiating, instead of freaking out over and then going too quiet, it's like just soften your voice. And here we are.
Correct.
I mean, I have to resort to back to, this is why we have two ears and one mouth.
Yes.
Right?
That's exactly right.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's exactly right. I think there's Andre now, or he's trying.
Yeah, that's great. Andre,
I
welcome. We've joined
I
us.
thank you. The camera's not working. I have no idea
Okay.
why. It was working all day yesterday. I did it last night, and now no camera.
It's the 5 retrograde planets, so it's
That's
okay. We'll
great.
make this work. I just want to
That-
say thank you to Dr. Carolyn Rubin for gracing us today. That was absolutely amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you,
stay with
Marianne.
us. You're welcome to stay with us all day or whatever length of time you wish. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Lori will be on. We had to change Lori's because she was actually flying
Oh,
at the time that she was supposed to be speaking. So she is going to join us in a half an hour right after Andre.
perfect. Okay.
Cool.
And we're going to
Awesome.
continue to talk to Andre. I'll talk to you, Andre, and we'll talk together. So
Absolutely. I'm
and
good.
that picture of you is really, he's a good looking man. So enjoy. And if somewhere along the line the camera starts to work, hey,
It's so
we'll just
weird.
acclimate to everything. It's just the way life is.
So weird. So weird. Anyway,
I
good
know,
morning.
it's okay. Mercury's in retrograde, and that's the one that's responsible for all technology. So I'm super grateful that we're even here, because for the first hour of my morning, and I missed a call because of it, I didn't have internet. So I was like,
Okay, see?
oh, good. That's something I want to happen when I have a summit. And I even had a call before my summit. So we managed to I was about 10 minutes late for the call, but anyways, it was good. It's all good. It's all good, Andre.
Okay,
So
I'll
the
go
thing
with it.
here is relationships that matter. And Andre
Hmm.
is an absolutely amazing relationship coach. And before I even move forward with him speaking, I just want to say that Andre and I have coupled up and we are putting together a group. It is free to join for now. And if you'd like to come and join us, we will have speakers. We will be mini coaching, group coaching. Well, we're going to be doing all kinds of fun things in this group, right, Andre?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We're hoping it's going to stay Tuesdays at noon, because that's the time that we've put it out for. So let's hope we can keep that time and things don't happen. But right now it's going to be Tuesdays at noon for an hour. Please come and join us and connect either with Andre or with myself, and we will connect you. And we're going to make a Facebook group, and we're going to have people join us in there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Right, Andre?
And informative, and make you think or rethink, a lot of things, relationships, because it's very different nowadays. It's very, very different, and people are confused. They don't know why things don't work, and so we know why things don't work, and it's a good conversation.
Yes.
It's a good conversation just to rethink things and understand nature as opposed to culture.
That's right. And
So
relationships are everywhere. We're not just talking about love relationships, you and your husband, you and your potential boyfriend, whatever. It's not just about, it's everything.
right,
Relationships is everything. It's business,
everything.
sales, it's at home with your kids, it's at home with your spouse, with your partners, with your business partners, with your family. Oh my
Mm.
gosh, Christmas is coming up, people. Well, Thanksgiving for the US as well. Family gatherings. Oh my gosh, the cause of so much stress for people.
It's interesting to me because I kept from my perspective when I see the family dynamics, I'm not sure if you're familiar with birth order, but there's a temperament that comes up with every kid in line. Depending on their birth order, in order to get attention in the family, they have to become something. So whatever personality or temperament they were born with, right? Being the first one throws them into being the good one and the responsible one and the one that shoulders all the, mom and dad's values, and they can't hardly be themselves, firstborns. They're just completely lining up with everything that we're taught, and they're the good one. The second one comes out, sees the goody two shoes, thinking, how am I going to get attention in here? Oh, let me just do exact opposite of who he is or who she is. And that becomes the rebel. So again, completely shapes their personality out of getting attention. It's a survival mechanism. It's interesting. But so the rebel comes second, so opposite of the good one. The third one comes out. Now it flexes a little bit depending of gender. But in my wife's family, it's by the book, 5 boys and a girl. My family is 2 boys, a girl, 2 boys, by the book with adjustment. So the third one comes out, goody two shoes taken. That's how he gets to survive. Rebel is doing okay. That's what he gets. That's how he gets attention. Number 3 comes out. Are you ready? Number 3 is artist/weirdo. Guess which one I am?
I'm not going to say because
Thank
I
you.
like weirdos. Weirdos are my people.
It takes one to know one, right? So, and then number 4 is a ne'er-do-well, struggle with everything from childhood forward, so that's how they get attention. They need attention because they're struggling. Number 5 becomes Mr. or Mrs. Independent. They pull out the whole system. Number 6 starts at 1 again because there's enough ears behind. And so fascinating stuff. So what happens is family reunion gathering holidays is we got all these personalities that are completely pushing against each other, coming together in the name of love and family, right? And so this is when the rebel kicks in with some crap to toss the whole thing around, and then it's hysterical and it's kind of terrible at the same time. But this is why family dynamics are so difficult, and people find their families often outside their own blood family for those reasons, because they line up with people more like them, that they value the same things, right? There's a attachment that's familiar as opposed to the insanity of our very own siblings. It's hysterical, but it's fascinating, honestly. And in my family, it's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. Like the good one against the bad one. I'm the weirdo in the middle, going, "What? My sister's a princess. My little brother's an ne'er-do-well." Right. And in my family, when we get together, the women's, it's only 2 girls. It's my wife, my wife. There's my sister, my mother. The rest of us are boys. So these 2 start something every year. Within an hour, there's going to be a tornado in the house. Like they're going to ruin the holiday every time. My sister will say something smug. My mother starts crying. My dad comes to her rescue just when she's crying, because it's the only time that he takes care of her, when she's mad or crying, or especially at one of us. And the whole thing explodes. Like, Merry Christmas. And we just, I get in my car with my kids and I leave. Like, happy holidays. So people mostly don't understand this. We should be happy to see each other. We are family, we're blood. And often it's very, very difficult. And the more people you put in a space, like uncles and aunts, right? The more they all have their own quirks, right? Like in every family, there's a weird uncle who's always flirting with the teenage girls. Like, what the hell, right? That tension in the space. One's a drunk, right? The one, oi, and people are like, my family stuff. Well, that's pretty standard. Just saying. Just saying.
I love
Fascinating,
that.
though. It's fascinating.
I love that whole dynamic you just wrote down, because I'm an only child.
Well, there you go. That explains everything.
So that explains everything. I have
Everything, absolutely everything. Yep, you're like responsible. You're responsible. You're an adult by the time you're 10 years old.
Yeah.
You never got to be like a silly, like happy, not happy, but a silly kind of a child. You know what I mean? You're surrounded with adults. They look at you and say, Marianne, what, Marianne? And so by 10 years old, you've fully grown up. Now, lonely children are typically very successful because they're so adult-like, right? And they have the support of adults around them their entire lives. But they're also very self-centered, very selfish. They don't share anything with anyone. They don't know what that means. They don't know what that means. They never had to, right? They're often living in their own worlds in their heads, right? Because they're lonely a lot, and even because they have no kids to play with. So even as little children, they end up, creating a world in their own heads. It's fascinating, but it's great for business. Not so good for relationships. Just saying, right? Because there's nothing outside the world but you on some level, because that's your whole life. So it's interesting and challenging, and I didn't mean to. How do you like to hear that? Do you like to hear that?
Most of it's true.
Yeah.
I was married for 20 years to a nice man. He just
Sure.
we didn't, let's just leave it at it just didn't work out. 20
Right.
years worked. For 10 years it worked amazing, and then there was some stuff that happened in there, and then we tried and it didn't work out, and that's
Yeah.
okay. We have probably one of the most amicable divorces ever, that part.
Yeah.
But we didn't get blessed with children. And you're right about the whole sharing thing. It took me a long time to learn how to share, and I'm like, why am I giving you my stuff? I don't get it. Why you want my stuff? I'm actually a huge giver. One of my love languages is gifts. I love
Yeah.
giving them and I love receiving them, but I almost love giving them more now. So that's
Yeah.
something I think that happened with age.
Right, for sure. It's I mean, the whole thing's fascinating, and my favorite part is I have a client right now who's a lonely child. He's a guy,
Mhm.
married, right? But she's constantly going like he's in his head, doesn't talk to me, right? I try to share something with him, he just looks at me because he literally lives in his own world up in his head. Like, he's a good guy, he works, he makes money, he's a really good guy, you know what I mean? But he's really hard to connect with, and again, same thing is entirely, not only is he an only child, but he had a helicopter mom, right? So everything was always handled. So he's kind of a, what do you call it? Living on his own planet. But for her, she feels completely disconnected for him, right? So as a woman, you understand, this, that, connection is safety, especially the man in your world, in your life. So she constantly feels disconnected. But that's a huge part of his birth orders by himself with a helicopter mom.
Yeah.
And it's all like, it's his own rule, his own value. Whatever he believes, whatever he thinks is right, is non-negotiable, which makes it tough. You know what I mean? So I'm in the middle of opening the channels between them to have those conversations. You know what I mean? To be able to negotiate this stuff and to literally, at school, the first thing I did is I have a whole document about the traits of lonely children. I sent it to him first. I sent it to her, and he came back with, "Oh my God, that's not cute. Like, that's kind of, it's me, but it's like, that could be, I can see how difficult it would be to," I'm like, there you go, right? So now he's aware of the things that he does naturally that don't necessarily work in relationships. And now she's like, God, that's exactly what he's doing. That's like, blah, 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 blah. So right now, what I'm saying right now, I'm teaching him, opening the channels of conversation, negotiation, right? To be able to adjust to the things that doesn't work for her, doesn't work for him. So it's really fun. But it's really fun. But lonely children, a whole different breed.
Yeah.
It's like left-handed man, a whole different breed.
But I'm going to tell you that I have been surrounded. I have always, since I was a small child, and I think that I was already very independent at 8, because back then, I was born in 1962 for everyone who's listening. Back then was a long time ago, and I had the key around my neck. My parents were both working. I came home by myself. I cooked. I did cleaned. I did very independent. I started working at my mom's company. Not, she didn't own it. She just worked there. I started working there part-time during the summer when I was 13 years old.
Yep.
So not even legal. So work and that I've always been successful everywhere I've gone. You know, embracing different things. That was a little bit different, but yeah, no, it was really good. I always felt like I had to be really good at what I was doing, but I
Well,
always think, well, if you're going to go do this for money, then let's go. If we're doing it
Yep.
for other pleasure, then let's go have some pleasure, you know?
Yeah. That's the brain of a grown up. Literally, at 8 years old, you're fully grown. I had a girl like years ago because I'm, I'm a dancer by trade, and I was hired at a dance studio because I was teaching class in this dance studio. I was 23 years old. I meet the woman who owns the studio, lonely child. She's 6 feet tall. Come to find out, after I get the job, she's 14 years old.
Oh, wow.
Only child, right? Grown up by the age of 8, 9, 10, and business minded and, adult thinking and looking forward to the future and making money. And so, the the firstborn is always raised to be masculine and conquer and push and win and have good grades and be the good one. Without anybody behind, they get stuck there on the level plus plus. So it's amazing but they're very hard to relate to for other people typically. Just they're in right. But this girl was 14 years old, owned a dance studio, like a big space that she actually kind of purchased from a lady who built it. But I mean, she hires me, and I thought this is an adult woman, 14.
That's
And I mean, she still owns a studio today. That was her life. And anyway, so lonely children, very interesting, and often difficult.
yeah, very difficult because I have a mind
Yes.
of my own. And I
There you
also,
go.
even today with some of my friends, like my one friend, okay, she's got a brother, she got married young, but the other one, it comes from a family of 3 children, and
Mhm.
she is, I believe she is the middle child. I think he's old, I can't remember. And you know, she's all like, oh, okay, yeah, let's do this. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that.
See?
And she's like, what do you mean you don't want to do that? And I'm like, yeah, I want to do that. I'm not going. You guys go have fun. Talk to you later.
Mm.
Bye. And she has such a hard time with that. And I'm like,
Yep.
I can't. Also, I work a lot and I love my job. So I don't really consider it work. Whereas she does not like working, period, at all.
Oh, different
Of any
reality. Different reality. Yep.
She's a hardcore nurturer. She would be, I told her she should be volunteering somewhere. Like that's, you know, she just needs something to do with her time now that the kids have grown and left the house. But yeah, it's it's pretty cool. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that if I don't want to, and that's all there is to it. The end. Sometimes I'll do stuff, you know, in the name of like friends and stuff, or I'll leave early or whatever. I remember, wait, who was it that was telling me? And I think it was one of our clients, and he and his wife, but he's also an Aquarius. So I'm an
Mm.
Aquarius, very independent sign to begin with.
There it is.
And
Another layer, another layer.
and he also was an Aquarius, and I can't remember what, I think he was a lawyer or something. Anyways, so him and his wife would go to a party together. Sorry,
Right.
separate but together, like together
Right.
as a couple, but separate driving because
Yep.
he wants the freedom of being able to leave whenever he wants.
Yep.
And whenever he's ready, he leaves. And if she wants to
Right.
stay, that's cool with him and cool with her, and everybody's good. And I'm like, oh, I love that. But you're right. You know, my whole life, everybody, when I was younger, everyone thought I was older than I was.
Yep.
And now that I'm older, now everyone thinks I'm younger than I am, which I
Hmm.
love. So that worked out perfect for me.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Hmm.
But yeah, as a kid, you talk like an adult, you think like an adult, you communicate like an adult, like because that's your whole world. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. And like I said, it's both good and bad. Tend to be successful, but very independent, live in their own planet, their own world, their value, their system. They don't negotiate anything. This is right for me. I don't care if it's not right for you. Like
Yeah, no, this works for
it's
me.
just funny. It's funny, but it's interesting. Like I said, it's exact kind of same. You're a different creature, literally, in the world. For that, just like left-handed man are completely different creatures, and we know they're different, but we don't know why they're different. Well,
Yeah.
we know why they're different.
Yeah.
Completely, it's like, so women who end up with left-handed men in their lives, like I said, both good and bad, but when it's bad because they live through the right brain, which is feminine, which is in the flow, which is connecting, which is talking. So left-handed men tend to be very chatty, but because they're still men, they don't talk for connection like women do. They talk just to talk. So you'll find yourself having a monologue with him. Like he will talk, and women say, "I finally find a guy who talks," because guys don't, men don't talk much. They're stoic. Give you one word answer. Good reason. There's a good reason for that as well. But the left-handed tend to be chatterbox, and women like, "Oh, finally a man who talks," except there's no conversation. It's a monologue. It's always him talking about whatever he likes, wants, kind of thing. And you find yourself in the conversation with somebody like this where there's no back and forth. You're just looking at them. And it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating for the feminine. Very frustrating. And for the man, it's like, why is he still talking? Why are you talking? Dude, what are you talking? Like, you're like a girl. You never shut up. Right? Why are you talking? And again, it's interesting. Now, they tend to be more creative. They tend to be, like I said, more in the moment. Right? They're more feeling driven, where masculine, 90% of men are right-handed. So we only have 10% of these guys on the planet, but they're different. They're literally like functioning to their feelings first, where masculine, functions from their logic and the order of life first. So again, for the ladies, there's a point where they're much easier to be with until they're not. Right? They're more sensitive, but then they take everything personally. Right?
Wow.
Like, so I have a client, this poor thing, both of her sons are left-handed, and her husband.
Oh my.
And I know, and I'm like, hold on, poor thing. Like, what did you do in the past to get this kind of karma? So, and when I broke it down for her, she's like, oh my God. She said, it's, what it's like? It's like living with three girls. I'm like, absolutely. So she has to be the logical one. She has to be the one doing everything, in her left brain, because she's surrounded with three of them. And the worst thing is the kids, left-handed people are wired like a woman's brain. You can think and feel really quickly. Like, so in an argument, you could actually be upset and be able to talk. Do you know what I mean? Right-handed men can't do that. When right-handed men are upset, they can't talk. That's why they walk away, because they can't think when they're upset. But left-handed men, all women, just the brain wiring, and anatomically gay men all have the same brain. Anatomically gay men. It's not this. There's two different types of, right? So the ones that are born this way and they're feminine, they can think and feel really, really quickly. And so these boys that she has is hysterical. Literally, it's like a lot of politicians. If you look at the numbers, about 2/3 are left-handed, because they literally can mess. They talk and mess with you and say something and it sounds important, but they like, what the hell did you say, right? They just have this gift of literally confusing the hell out of you, sounding important, when they don't want to answer the question. So these two boys, and the 13-year-old she had, she goes, he's constantly screwing with me. I'm like, well, yeah, it's fun for him. Like, just confuses her, flips the script, changes the story, changes the narrative. Can't have a conversation with them. It's always her fault, right? And I'm like, oh, you poor thing. You got three of them. Have fun. Call me when you need me. It's crazy. It's a different beast. And we don't really get it. We just know they're a little bit different. They're a lot different. Anyway, fun stuff.
Great information. I had no idea about the whole right hand, left hand. Oh,
Yep.
All kinds of great info.
Yeah.
That's really funny. And it's funny because I do have quite a few gay friends, guys and girls, like always have, especially in the industries. I was in retail for a long time and then worked in spas, like, so much. And I have a super close friend of mine is also gay. I love being around them. They're so much fun. A lot of them are very artistic. They're far more free. They're easier to talk to sometimes, and as far as men go and relationships, my ex-husband, very, good man, really good-hearted, everything, just, some issues that I couldn't get past. And he likes alcohol more than I would want a man to like. So that was my sort of final reason. But I've had other relationships prior to him and after him, obviously, and now I'm in a really nice, very grown-up relationship, but I attracted a different kind of guy, one that cheated, one that was, play, bad boyish. I always used to
Yep.
joke, I'm like, oh my gosh, if you're a bad boy, if I'm going to walk into a room and you're the only bad boy in the room, I'm going to pick you out of
Oh yeah.
all
Oh
the
yeah.
people out of
Absolutely.
all the people in the thing. That's where my energy went to for a
Yep.
very, very long time.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, until I finally just said, okay, I've had enough of this. This needs to stop. I don't know what this is all about. I'm not even attracted to it anymore. As you do work on yourself, you
Right.
you tend to grow out of your own crap. So
Yep.
this was
Well,
just like
so it,
I would walk
it
into a room. Let me just tell this because I was telling
yeah,
my
yeah.
friend, I would literally walk into a room, and if there was only one, he was the one I picked. And if you had gone to jail, that was even
Even
more
better. Even
exciting.
better.
That
Yep.
was
Bad
like,
boy.
that's it, I'm in.
Yep.
I'm
No,
like,
it's part of it is genetics, part of it is trauma from childhood. It's, if your daddy was not present, no good, alcoholic, missing altogether, little girl doesn't feel safe in the world, so she has to man up,
yeah,
right? And
yeah,
so you become more masculine than feminine because you can't literally you don't feel safe at the age of 5 and 6 forward.
yeah.
And so what we do, this is just the nature of our brain. This is a really terrible design. When I get to heaven, we're gonna have a conversation because I don't get it. Like it's not necessary to be that screwed up. But
Yeah.
what we do is basically in relationships, right? You'll find if you're traumatized and damaged, or you don't trust men, or you never you never had somebody to make you feel safe, as in your daddy. That's the first one and the only one that matters the most. You find yourself as an adult attracting somebody just the same, which will signal you the same as your daddy that you're not good enough, you're not lovable, there's something wrong with you, whatever, right? And then you try to fix them. That's what we all do. Men do the same thing with women. If somebody like their mom, this would end up being pulled to, and they're trying to fix her, which you can't. And this is why things go right to hell. But it's such a mechanism. Like I said, when I get to heaven, we have a conversation. That's messed up. Animals don't do this. Nature doesn't do this. We do this. We get stuck in a false belief about ourselves, and we only attract that and try to fix it. And life is a nightmare. And this is why you find yourself attracting the same type over and over and over and over, because it's your mind literally just looking for that rush of the trauma, the stress, the part of the reason why women love bad boys because they're unpredictable. You can't control them. They're exciting. They're wild. They're crazy. They'll just, they'll have your eyes roll in the back of your head. Like they're amazing, and they don't have nothing to do with commitment. They don't have anything to do with following through. They don't have anything to do with responsibilities, right? So they're attractive, except it'll ruin your life. So like you, eventually, most women, hopefully, but not a lot, end up understanding the dance and then flip the script by picking a good man as opposed to a maniac who's really fun and tall and thin, has got a six pack, and will rock your world. Yet weeks later he's out of there. You know what I mean?
In bed
So
with
one thing,
someone else. In bed
yeah,
with
no, I
someone
mean they're
else
just
or
maniacs.
whatever.
They're maniacs. They're all about adventure and fun and no responsibilities. Like
It's
that's
that
just
craving for drama.
absolutely, absolutely, and that's same with them. Like they're addicted to dopamine, which makes them act like complete fools. Like and it's the second born, by the way. If you have boy in front of boy,
God, one of
second
them
one, the
really was a
rebel,
second born.
the
One of them
rel the
actually was a
rebel.
second born.
Yep, the rebel will be the second one and do whatever opposite of the first one and or mom and dad's value system or what they believe in. Just flip everybody off.
Yeah.
And so my second brother took it to the edge of the law. Like he almost ended up in jail.
Oh,
A lot of them do end up in jail and they deal drugs and they don't want to work. They want to have fun. They don't want responsibility. They're always looking for the shortcut. They don't want to put in the work. They're better than that, right? They're better than that, but they're slick and seductive and the mess that they create.
it's true. Drama.
Yeah. And if you want, and I like to say something else about, you said, your husband liked alcohol more than you, kind of thing. So again,
More
this
than
is
I
just,
wanted him to.
yeah, what he wanted to, but understand, we both have masculine and feminine as men and women, right? Again, we have a right and left brain. The left brain is more linear and directive and masculine, plotting, planning, right? The right brain, creative in the flow, blah, blah, blah. So we both have both, except we live as men, 90% of us, on the left brain only. So it's all logic and order and structure. And you know what you should do? And why does that bother you? Like your feelings are irrelevant right? So we tell women, like, why does that bother you? Let it go. Right? You know, and you want to kill us because so but we use our right brain. This is when we stop competing, and right brain is often daddy energy when he comes home, right? He's not competing against anything. He could actually be. So daddy energy. So anyway, we have both. But get this. When a man drinks alcohol or uses any kind of mind-altering chemicals, drugs, right, whatever, he literally slips out of his masculine into his feminine. This is when the guys are drunk, they go, "I love you, man. I love you, man." They can never say that when they're straight. You know what I mean? And the next day they're embarrassed for the fact they got open and vulnerable. But literally, it knocks the man out of them, and they slip into the feminine. Right, and the same for the ladies. When a woman drinks or uses drugs, she knocks her feelings out, goes right into her masculine, you know. And I hate to say this, but this is why women compromise themselves sometimes. You know, they get drunk, they pick up some guy, the next day the walk of shame, right? This is not who I am. But this alcohol is a huge factor in flipping us literally upside down. We end up doing some stupid shit. Excuse my French, right? Yeah. And then the next morning we get back and we're like, wow. But so another thing people don't understand. So alcoholics, right, are all about like stepping out of pain. That's the hook, right? Same with drug addicts and people who overeat and people who gamble. Like not all this is normal until it's a problem. And the problem is escapism. So an alcoholic man is a big girl who is soft, and literally what happens is the wife in this world becomes the man. She has to manage everything because he's not. Okay. So it's an interesting story. So alcoholics are girls when they're man, and alcoholic women are manly. Masculine is all hell. And again, it's another way to numb the pain, to manage the whatever is not working. And interesting, isn't it? Just alcohol. Will flip you right over.
It is
flips you right over.
Yes. Sorry, it is interesting because we met when we were, in our 20s, obviously, and we were partying, and everybody, we'd stay out late, and then have friends and do it in couples. There was more drinking involved. I am really a very, very weak drinker. I hardly ever drink. I'm almost always the designated driver.
Beautiful.
If we're going somewhere, everybody wants me to be the designated driver because they know I don't really care. I don't care if I drink. Whereas they're all like, okay, we have to party, we have to drink. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not really gonna drink.
But go ahead.
Yeah, and so you're right and I did everything. I held the whole household together. So it was very unusual for me to hit up on a man who could handle and will handle, finances and household stuff and whatnot. I don't mean he needs to clean. I mean, he needs to be able to pay for the cleaning lady then if he's not going to do it.
Right. He needs to lead and then provide, protect, cherish, support. Right. That's what a man does. These guys don't do any of that. Alcoholics don't do any of that. They want to chill. They let you carry the weight. They're irresponsible with their money. Yeah. They're aloof. It's all about
very unappealing.
All about fun or no responsibilities. So the person in their lives becomes the responsible one in order to survive. It's fascinating, but it's terrible at the same time. And
it's true because my dad was very abusive. He wasn't an alcoholic. So when I saw alcohol, I didn't recognize that as an issue because I didn't have that, but he was very abusive physically with both my mother and myself. And I had, grown up with that. And so as long as he didn't hit me, he was okay. And then it was like, oh, I don't like this alcohol. I didn't know that existed, because my dad was not an alcoholic. And then drugs, nobody what drugs? There's going to be a drug because I had one of those too. So I guess I had to go through whatever, but it was a long journey and some of it was fun. Most of it wasn't. And so now I finally feel like I'm attracted it to the right kind of man. And
Well, it also signals that you're now healthy-minded as opposed to caught in the old trauma of, men are abusive and dangerous but they're dangerous, but they're fun, but they're dangerous, and they keep the adrenaline going in the name of like excitement, and you think you try to hang on to him and you just can't. And so it's a lesson to be learned for a lot of people.
amazing. Excellent. Thank you so much, Andre. This was so empowering and so amazing. Please come join us in our group. Connect either with Andre or myself. DM me and we will get you into the group. We are starting on the 25th
The
of
5th. Yeah.
November, right? It's the 25th.
Yep, next week.
At 12
Next
p.m.
week.
Eastern Standard Time, and I believe that's 9 a.m. PST, right?
Yep.
Excellent.
Yep.
Thank you so much,
It'll be
Andre.
fun. It'll be fun. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be so much fun, and we're going to have fun, and you're going to learn, and you're going to love it. So come join us. And with that, I thank you so much, Andre. See, we made
Thank you,
it.
Dottie. Good to see you.
We made it work. No camera.
We made it work. I know, whatever.
It's okay.
Now,
Sometimes
now I have to figure out what that's about. Boy, I
Sometimes
have
you
they
gotta
calls
do
all
it.
day long. Yeah, so let's go with it.
And I see
Darling.
Lori McNeil has joined us. Lori is our next speaker. So Lori usually opens for me, but she was flying in a plane, so that's kind of hard.
A little bit.
So we're going to have her join us now. Lori is an absolutely amazing media specialist, coach. She's definitely one of my mentors, and I believe Carolyn, Dr. Carolyn Rubens as well. We both belong in Lori's groups, and actually Amanda's there as well. We got to get you into it, Andre.
Okay.
So with that, I will pass this over now to Miss Lori A. McNeil. Welcome, Lori.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure to be here. And yes, I was in a plane. And if I had it my way, I'd still be, doing.
Oh, oh, wait.
I just unmuted myself. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay, good. I'm like, did I do that? Or
Yeah. I think, well, I'm not sure, but
who knows?
yes. Who knows? Technology. We're here. It's all good. So yes. So thank you so much. My schedule got a little bit jammed up today, but I am so excited to be here. And I do not usually wear these, you guys. I am at a conference where there's like a ton of people around, and I am trying to not only block out the noise, but I'm probably going to be talking a little bit quieter than I normally do. And for those of you who know me, you know that I'm pretty loud times, especially when I get super focused and passionate. So I'm going to try really hard to not be as loud as I normally would. So just wanted to let you guys know that in case you're like, is she?
Oh, you're just
passionate about?
Oh, there it is. You just froze a bit. It's okay.
I do get very passionate about what I do. So I am excited. Thank you so much. Glad to be here, Marianne. Thank you so much for having me on your Empowered Talks. These summits always just bring an amazing just energy and group of people and plethora of just different ideas and different topics, and just so many amazing nuggets surface every single time. And I'm always honored to be a part of everything that you're doing. So thank you so much. I want to jump in here because I've got so many ideas when it comes up to this topic about business and relationships. And there's so much that I see going on. And if you guys have heard me speak on these summits before, you know that I bring the most cutting edge information that I can based on what I see in the industry and based on what, the conversations I'm having with people on a regular basis. So when I speak on these summits for Marianne, they are a little bit different. They're not necessarily a keynote presentation. This is what I see. This is what we should be doing. This is what maybe we should be doing, better, all these different things. So my presentations on these summits are always a little bit different, but as Marianne knows, you definitely want to grab a pen and paper and take a lot of notes because I offer as much gold as I possibly can in a short amount of time, no matter what the topic is that we're talking about. So I want to jump right into talking a little bit for those of you who don't know me, because I know there's different people, whether you're watching the replay or whether you're on live, that maybe have never heard me speak before. So I just want to back up for a minute, let all the new people know that I am an international business strategist. I focus and specialize in media, branding, and marketing, but really the overall strategy of business, whether you're online, brick and mortar. I've been doing this for 28 years and I absolutely love it. I'm a retired business professor from Oregon State University, where I have also developed programs and courses and curriculum and all kinds of things for MBA programs for many different universities across the nation. So I get to travel literally 24/7, pretty much. Ask Marianne. She'll text me at 2 in.the morning and I'm somewhere. And I love this work. I love helping people get from wherever they are to where they want to be, and really more importantly, where you were created to be. So we all are created to do something very unique and very special that is really only for us, in us, and the world is needing us to show up in only a way that we can. And I truly, truly believe that. And it is my work, my life's work right now, my passion to help businesses just like you live out your passion and your legacy and your business. So I am in Orlando today. I'm actually taking the stage in a couple of different events over the next couple of days. And I am speaking on the media branding and marketing piece and how it applies to relationships and how it applies to overall business strategy and everything that we do. And I think there's a couple of really key points that I want to. So I want you to put this in the back of your mind, and then I'm going to circle back around to it. There's so many things in the industry that I'm seeing people doing when it comes to JV, when it comes to partnerships, when it comes to affiliates, when it comes to any kind of a business type of a partnership or collaboration that I'm seeing going on, right, in the world today. But again, whether that's online or brick and mortar. And there's a lot of really dangerous things happening. There's a lot of you don't know what you don't know. And then it's like, whoa, that was a hard lesson. I'm not going to do that again. And then there's a lot of people that are more or less kind of preying on the people that they think that they can take advantage of, or that they can think that they can ride on the reputation of, or the brands. They can kind of align themselves with their brand enough to really almost in a way kind of fake it till they make it. So there's a lot of different things that I'm seeing. So I want to leave that as a thought, and we're going to come right back around to it. Before we get there, I want to back up and actually talk about media branding and marketing so that piece of it makes more sense. Okay, so I planted that on purpose, and we're going to come back to it. Media branding and marketing, I teach as the trifecta of building your business. So it doesn't matter what your industry is. It doesn't matter what you do in this world. People have to know who you are, who you serve, and the problem that you solve in order to buy from you. People buy from people they like, know, and trust. So in order to get to that factor, you have to know what you're doing with your branding, your marketing, your media. You have to understand how all those pieces fit together so that people can find you, so that they know who you are, so that they know what you do. Rather than just being, well, she seems like she's really nice. I can't tell you how many events I go to, and people will say, oh man, he seems so nice, but or he seems so nice, but I'm not really sure what he does. Right? How many of you have been to events where it's like, man, she seems passionate about something, or she seems like she's super nice, and maybe she's told her story, or he has, he obviously has leadership skills, whatever it is, but you're not quite sure what they do. Maybe they're into leadership, maybe they're into mindset, maybe they're into finance, but you don't really know enough about them to want to really do a deeper dive with them. And when it comes to media branding and marketing, I see this all the time where people, they don't know what they don't know. So they might have a logo, right? They might be active on social media. Maybe they are on television, or they kind of have this more or less spaghetti at the wall approach, because maybe they don't have the time, maybe they don't have the team, maybe they don't have the resources, and they know that they need some of this, but they don't really know how it fits together. They don't really know. They just, and I see this a lot, and it breaks my heart because um, there's really amazing people out there. And there's people listening to this summit right now that are like, yeah, that's me. That's me. I feel like I need some of this stuff, but I'm not really sure where to go. I'm not really sure who to trust, who to invest in, who to, lead me down that path. So I'm just kind of on this rat wheel trying to kind of figure it out. And if I do some stuff, it's better than nothing, right? There's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that are thinking this. And I remember, because I too started somewhere, just like all of us are at a different point, in our journeys where we're trying to figure out the next thing of the next strategy. The good thing is that it's never too late to start. That's the first thing. The second thing is that you always start with what you have. You always start wherever you are with what you have, and you build from that point forward. So if you're great at social media, great. That's your starting point. That's maybe your skill set to start with. If you maybe are really great at graphic design and some of your messaging and some of your, what I call visual identity markers, great. But then you need to add in some of the pieces that you're not good at, right? So if you just think about the media branding and marketing piece of it, everyone listening to this has a strength and has a weakness somewhere within those three. And maybe you're really strong at one and you're really, really bad at the other two, whatever that is. But everybody listening to this call has a skill set or a knowledge to some point where one of them is going to be stronger than the other. So whatever that is, start with what you have. That's the first thing. And then strong leaders lean into what they don't know. So whether you're really great at Facebook and your target audience that you're trying to attract is on LinkedIn, then you know that you need to learn LinkedIn or hire someone to help you with LinkedIn, whatever that is. And if you're really good at reading and writing and research and all those kind of things, and so you have your messaging down, you don't necessarily know how to communicate that message very well in visual identity markers or in your brand or in video or in other modalities, then lean into that. A lot of people think that because they're really good at maybe they're writing, maybe copywriting, that they must be amazing marketers. And that's not necessarily true, because there's so many other aspects to building a business that you have to have in place. So especially with AI and with all of the amazing tools that are out there right now, some of these things that I'm going to be talking about today could be easier than ever. They really should be easier than ever. AI makes it easy to do ideation, different brainstorming, graphics, video, absolutely everything. But don't be intimidated by it. Learn it. Learn what resonates with you. Learn how to use it. Learn how to use it to where it works for you, and not this barrier that's keeping you from putting yourself out there to where the world knows who you are. So what are you doing to get to that like, know, and trust factor? There's always something that we can improve upon. Me, even after all this time, there's always things every single day that I'm improving upon. Strong leaders push themselves beyond wherever they are this point in time. So how are you going to be a stronger leader tomorrow? How are you going to show up online differently tomorrow than you are today? How are you going to show up in the world differently tomorrow or next week than you have? How are you going to end this year and set yourself up and set yourself apart differently from next year? Do you need to do more video? Do you need to actually completely rebrand? For some people, maybe you do need to do a complete rebrand. People can't connect with you if they don't know you, if you aren't consistent in how you're showing up, if they don't know what you're about, and if they don't think that you're the one that can solve their problem. Those things have to be crystal clear in absolutely everything that you do. And your visual identity, whether that's your logo, whether that's different graphics you put online, whether that's your website, whatever that is, You have to be consistent in all ways that someone would experience you, whether it's in person or online or in print or on a radio or on a different broadcast. And it sounds so simple, but you guys, I'm here to tell you that I see so much inconsistency that it's actually kind of mind blowing when you really think about how simple it is. Now, the argument that I hear to that is like, well, oh, Laura, you just don't understand. You don't understand. I've got this responsibility and I've got kids and I've got, my spouse and I've got my church community or my this and that. I get it. I totally get it. You guys, I'm a single mom. I juggle like 1,000 things in a day. And it's not just because, oh, I've been doing it for X amount of years. When you have a clear strategy in what you're doing and you show up consistently with that and you build upon that, that's what makes all the difference in the world. I'm not saying do all the things right now today. I'm saying start with what you have and build on that, because you have to go through the fire. You have to go through the process so that you can build your internal skills in order to be able to handle the next external challenge or the next external problem. You can't handle the big opportunities. You can't handle the bigger challenges unless you've gone through process that entrepreneurship brings, and that will only get you more ready for that next point. And so, for instance, if you have never been in business before, or if you've been in business less than 5 years, let's just say, and you haven't dealt with very many tough business challenges yet, or financial hardships yet, or people doing chargebacks, or people suing you, or people complaining, or people attacking you online, or bad mouthing you in the, in a conference room, whatever it is, there's all these things that happen all the time. You have to understand what skill level that each of those opportunities takes, what the world needs from you in order to understand how to solve it better, stronger, and faster the next time. So all of those things teach you what you need to know in order to be the leader that the world needs for you to be at every point that you move along on your journey. So many people say, oh, Lori, I want to be on the Today Show, or I want to be, on Oprah, or I want to be on the Tony Robbins stage, or I want to be like, they have this vision and they're so passionate and they're so excited about what they're doing, but they lack the understanding of what is needed to be ready for those bigger opportunities. They lack the maturity and the insight and the mindset that an entrepreneur creates in order to fully embrace and understand the value and everything that comes along with that opportunity to be on that stage. Now, in the fake it to make it culture, this is the flip side of that coin. But if I only get one opportunity, it will change my life. If I just get on that stage, my life will be changed. If I just write that book and Oprah gives me a reference, my life will be changed. So people are busy spinning their wheels, not focused on the strategy that they need to focus on. They're not focused on doing the daily, intentional, consistent actions that it takes to build internally and externally and go through that process, because they're throwing spaghetti at the wall, or they're faking it till they make it, or they're waiting for that lottery ticket. Some of you have heard me talk about the lottery analogy before, and it's so relevant in the entrepreneur space, and it applies in so many different ways. How many times do we hear on the news that somebody wins the lottery and within 6 months or a year, they're broke and they've lost it all? It's because those people thought that they could handle it. It's because those people thought that they knew what they were going to do with the money, how they were going to spend it, how they were going to help people, how they were going to invest, all these different things. But they didn't, because when the pressure arose, when people came out of the woodwork, when they were faced with different financial challenges, certain really tough decisions, with the same mindset and the same habits that they had before they won the lottery, they weren't ready to actually step into that level of responsibility, that level of leadership that it took in their own life, or for their own family, or for their own community, in order to understand the different decisions that needed to be made when they were faced with those challenges, when they were faced with those decisions, when they were faced with what they needed to do in order to really capitalize on that particular opportunity. So I want you guys to think about where you are right now in your life, in your business, and what you actually need to do in order to show up for yourself, show up for other people, other clients, other colleagues, different partnerships that you want in the future, that you'd say, man, if I could just partner with this person, if I could just get on that stage, if I could just do that, then what would that look like? What do you need to do right now that's actually going to prepare you, be the leader that you need to be, so that you can absolutely step into where you passionately want to go with the greatest version of yourself? You see, we can't expect other people to be in partnership with us if we actually aren't ready for that partnership. Now, this also applies obviously in personal relationships as well, but I want to focus on the business partnership of what it is that you're trying to accomplish and what you need to do to get there. If you're not going to be a good business partner, a good JV partner, a good collaborator, a good in any type of a business type of a relationship, you can't expect the other person to carry the weight, or you can't expect yourself to say, oh, I'm just like, I know I'm amazing. I know I can do this. I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. That's great that you have self-worth. That's great that you believe in yourself to do whatever that next big thing is. But you need to understand what it takes to be the person that you need to be in order to really be that amazing business partner that you're after, in order to really be that amazing leader that you need to be, that you need to step into. You see, there's people out there just like you that are waiting for the right person in their life to show up. They're waiting for the right business opportunity. They're waiting for the right collaboration. They're waiting for the right JV or the right affiliate partner or the right complete, legal business partner in some way. There's people out there just like you that are needing business partner of some kind, some type of a business relationship that's going to help them get to what they're set out in this world to do and to accomplish. Are you going to be ready for that opportunity? Are you going to be ready for that person or that opportunity when the opportunity presents itself? Or do you just think that you are? You see, there's a lot of people out there that they want what they want so bad that they think they're going to be ready for it. And the reality is that you're not actually as ready as you think you're going to be, because you haven't gone through the necessary steps that you need to go through in order to be the leader that the other leader needs you to be. Think about personal relationships. A lot of people think that they know what kind of a husband they're going to be. They know what kind of a parent they're going to be. They know what kind of a partner that they're going to be in different aspects of their personal life. The reality is that it's not possible to know everything. Part of that is that, yes, you just have to more or less figure it out as you go, but you have to be that strong internally in order to have the mindset, in order to have the savvy, if you will, in order to better, faster, in order to pivot if you need to pivot, in order to make those tough decisions that you think you're going to be ready for. How are you setting yourself up right now today to be ready for that next thing? Do you need to be a better speaker? Do you need to be a better communicator? Do you need to be a better storyteller from stage? Do you need to be better at sales? Do you need to be more authentic? Do you need to be more empathetic? You see, there's all these different things that make up who you are. There's different things that make up who I am: good, bad, indifferent. We all have a story. We all have, all kinds of different challenges and amazing things that we've gone through in our life that have brought us to this point right here today. How are you stepping outside of your comfort zone to be the leader that you need to be tomorrow? You see, one of the things that I'm seeing is that it's really easy in entrepreneurship to get busy putting out the fires, so to speak, of whatever needs to be done today. We all have checklists of things that we've got to get done. We've got to get this done for this client. We've got to do this for our kids. We've got to do this for our spouse, this for our community. Everybody's pulling us in different directions. And in 24 hours, we have more or less checklists of things that have to get done. And then we have those things that surface that we're not expecting. We've got these extra fires that we've got to put out on a regular basis. The skills that you've developed to the point before that fire came up allows you to deal with the situation, or allows you to go, wow, I was not ready for that. I was not expecting that. I didn't realize that I needed to know X, Y, Z in order to deal with this particular situation. You see, when you're prepared for tomorrow, when you as an entrepreneur are prepared for what hasn't happened yet, which is tricky, because you can say, well, Lori, how do I know? How do I know what's going to come up? You don't always know exactly the situation that's going to arise, but you as a leader can prepare yourself to be able to handle situation in your attitude, in how quick you are to respond, how you communicate through it, how your mindset even navigates through the entire situation. You can come out stronger on the other end if you are actually prepared as a leader internally in order to solve externally. You see, there's a direct correlation between what happens internally and what happens and how you respond externally. We all have what I call internal tools in our toolbox that are uniquely us. We are uniquely qualified internally to solve only the external problems that we can. That's why there's no such thing as competition. That's why it doesn't matter how many health coaches there are, how many business advisors there are, how many business strategists there are. It actually doesn't matter, because no one is you and no one can be you. No one can show up the way that you can. No one speaks the way that you can. No one has the tonality. No one has the cadence. No one has the energy, the vibe, the attitude, the problem solving skills that you have. That's what makes you unique. When you get out of the mindset of being in competition and understanding your true internal value of who you are and who you were created to be, and the unique tools in your toolbox that make you uniquely qualified to solve external problems, it's a game changer when you fully step into that and understand that. When you understand your capability of what you can accomplish in this world, you lean into challenges. You lean into developing the leadership skills that you need in order to be ready for that next opportunity. You see, so many of us are so busy putting out the fires of today and getting through our checklists of today that we don't think that we have time to think about what's ahead of us, that the rest of the world is maybe not even attuned to. As a leader, you're constantly thinking about what doesn't exist yet. What kind of problems can you solve? How can you position yourself? What can you build that the world needs and they don't even know it? How are you a forward-thinking leader rather than just dealing with the here and now? You see, you have a business partner out there, you have a collaborator, you have a mentor, you have clients that are waiting for you to be bold and courageous and step into the capability of who you are in a way that only you can, in a way that the world doesn't even know that they need. I want you to stretch your thinking and really marinate on that and really let that sit. How are you being forward thinking to where you are ready for the forward action that it's going to take in order to be a part of a world that doesn't exist, in order to be a part of an amazing opportunity that only you can create? It can be pretty wild when you think about it. Think about how many people say, oh man, I wish I would have thought of that. I wish I would have invented Post-it notes. I wish I would have invented this. That's so simple. Why didn't I think about that? Sometimes it takes just to step into that and just say, why not? Why not you? If not you, who? How are you being so bold and courageous right now today to be who you need to be, who the world needs you to be? It sounds so simple, but you guys, I'm here to tell you that there's so many conversations that I have with people that they're on a rat wheel trying to solve the problems of today and not being forward thinking leaders that you're created to be. Don't get me wrong, I understand. I understand the checklist. I understand the fires that pop up every day, all the time. I get it. I absolutely get it. But here's what's interesting. When you're focused on the checklist every single day, that actually can become a distraction. Are you allowing those fires to control you? Are you allowing the different things that you are working through throughout your day to keep you stuck in the here and now enough where you're not able to think far enough ahead to solving bigger problems, to solving bigger problems faster? Let that sink in. There's a lot of entrepreneurs that are really, really stuck, even if they're doing amazing every single day. They're actually stuck and distracted by what they're doing in 24 hours and not thinking far enough ahead, not just to where you want to go, because I truly believe that if you don't know where you're going, you can't be too upset about where you end up. Not just about that, but where's your mind, right? Where's your mind? Are you thinking so much about what's going on right now on a beach somewhere and not thinking far enough ahead to how can I solve problems in another and for people in another country? There's a lot of different aspects to what I'm saying on purpose.
Be good.
I do a lot of dropping of nuggets, dropping of thought-provoking ideas to get you guys thinking in a different way, to get you guys thinking in a different direction. Some of you may know that I developed a legacy builders program. Man, it's been a decade ago now. So a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about is about legacy building. It's about being the greater version of the world needs you to be and constantly pushing yourself outside of where you are. Where's your familiarity? How are you building that greater legacy that goes beyond 100 years from now? What does that actually look like? How are you helping to shape a world that we don't even know exists yet? And I'm not necessarily talking about robots and all that stuff. Think about the problems that you've experienced along the way in business that you could have never even imagined were going to be problems. You could have never imagined that they were going to be issues. Stretch your thinking, stretch your leadership, stretch your mindset, because there are people out there looking for business relationships, looking for partners in the same way that you are. But does it work if one person's ready and one person's not? No. Good business partnerships, good business relationships are when both people are at the same level, same fervor, same passion, same point to where they both need to grow, because as a leader, you should always be growing. But you're doing it together and one person's not pulling the other person. You may want that opportunity, but you may not be ready. you may be ready, and the person that you really want to partner with, right? Because you've got that vision in your mind, may not actually be ready for you. So in the beginning, I said, we're going to come back to this about business partnerships. Obviously, we've been laying the groundwork for that. I see so many people have a scarcity mindset of wanting to be in partnership with somebody, and they're not ready for that partnership, or they're taking advantage of the person that they think is actually going to get them to where they want to go if they partner with them, right? So you need to be very, very careful and vet who you're doing business with. Not just clients. We hear that with clients and coaches and things like that, but in all aspects of business. Do your research. Be careful. Understand who they are. Understand where they're going. Understand what's important to them. Is there alignment in their personal and professional life? Because one will absolutely affect the other. And there's a lot of people that I see getting into partnerships with people or collaborations, even if it's just an event or whatever it is, and they're not a good match. And maybe one was coming from ego, maybe one was coming from selfishness, maybe one was coming from scarcity because they thought that that was going to be their golden ticket, right? Or their lottery. You have to be very, very careful. And I see a lot of people jumping into business relationships of various levels, and they're not actually ready for that. They're not actually doing their due diligence and understanding that it was why it's a good partnership, why it's not a good partnership, and what that actually looks like. And then once that's established, how can you continue to be a good leader? How can you be a good mentor to each other and moving forward? And then how can you actually move on if it's not? How can you cut that off from the beginning with the first red flag? Or how can you have that conversation with that clear communication and that strong leadership fixes the problem and doesn't let it continue? There's a lot of different things that I see going on right now with business partnerships. Don't be so quick to jump into business with someone or to jump into business with someone that you think is the most amazing person because everybody else thinks that they're amazing. They may be amazing. Doesn't mean that they're a good business partner for you to be in business with if the alignment isn't there, right? If you don't have expectations set and you don't have accountability in place and you don't have a lot of these things you have to have in place to run it like a well-oiled machine so that there's systems and processes in place when they need to be in place so that things keep moving forward. It's not just about, I think you're great, here's a handshake, let's do it. And I see a lot of people doing that. Don't make that mistake. Don't ruin your brand and the hard work that you've put in because someone's taken advantage of you. And don't take advantage of someone else because you think that they might be your golden ticket that's going to help you build your brand. That will also bite you in the butt both ways. It's better to build slower, methodically, strategically, than try to race to be in business with the wrong person. Be crystal clear on who you are, who you serve, and the problem that you solve, and be very intentional with your actions and your strategies in the consistency every single day. The right person in business relationships of all levels will surface, and then you have the leadership and the discernment, understand and recognize, there it is. That's my ideal client. That's my ideal business partnership. This is the business opportunity I've been waiting for, what I've been working so hard for. Don't get me wrong, there's going to be disappointments and there's going to be surprises, but you stand in your value enough to recognize when a change needs to be made. Oh, that's not what I thought. I learned my lesson. That was a tough lesson. Maybe that was an expensive lesson. This is how I'm going to be a stronger leader moving forward. This is some of the tough stuff in business that I don't hear a lot of people talking about. It's like it's the non-sexy stuff, right? It's the non-glamorous side of business, is that real stuff happens, real challenges come up, real people get hurt. There's a lot of people out there just taking advantage of people right now. It's so crazy. And I always bring forth the things that I see going on right now. And this happens to be, I love the topic of relationships and business relationships, because it's a perfect opportunity for me to bring up some really tough stuff that I see going on in the industry right now. Don't be taken advantage of, and don't put yourself in such fear and scarcity over trying to make it to the top, that even if you think that you're not a bad person, you're actually maybe taking advantage of other people more than you want to and more than you realize, because you can be a stronger leader and you're not doing what you need to do in order to be ready for that person or for that opportunity or for whatever that next level is. Do what you need to do right now today. How can you be stronger with your messaging? How can you be stronger with your branding? How can you be stronger with your different media platforms that you're on? How can you be consistent with that in order to build that strong foundation? And maybe even in order to attract the right opportunity that you're actually wanting and that you're waiting for. But because you're not doing some of these things, maybe you're not actually ready for as much as you think you are. I usually have a lot of questions. So I'm actually going to, we have a couple minutes. I'm actually going to stop right there. You guys, this was on my heart to share today. I didn't necessarily do a lot of fast, rapid fire, note taking type of stuff like I usually do, but I hope that you took notes that were more of the internal thought provoking kind of a way, because that's what I really wanted to share today, is that we all have ways to improve how we can be better leaders that leads to better business relationships at all levels overall. And it's not just about podcasts. It's not just about the learning. It's not just about some of these cool, amazing things. Don't get me wrong. There's so much more to business that you need to pay attention to and to be ready for, because the world is waiting for you to show up. And you have a very unique internal toolbox that is unique to you, that allows you to solve the external problems in a way that only you can. You guys, I love doing this every single day. It's an honor to be here. I love helping you get from wherever you are to where you need to be, and more importantly, where you were created to be. And with that, Marianne, if we have any questions, I am happy to answer them.
I do not see any in the chat. That doesn't mean there isn't any. That just means nobody has written any down. But this was amazing as always, Lori. I love when you do something different and then we have something completely different. So you know what? Relationships that matter, it's such a big deal and it's so important. I think I'm going to have to do a repeat of this type. I might call it something else. And I think I'll do it in February when it's Valentine's Day. And it's a different kind of relationship that will be the focus. Although I don't think we could do anything without a relationship, right? Like, how are you going to sell to someone? What are you trying? What are you selling? Air?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You're selling yourself.
Yeah.
Always.
It's all relational, you guys. And you hear it more and more that business is about relationships, not transactional. You can't expect any kind of a transaction, right? You can't expect anybody to do business with you at any level if you actually aren't showing up in a true, authentic way and building those relationships. It's all about relationships. How are you showing up in your network? How are you building your network? How do you even network around in a room, whether it's a virtual room or a physical room? And that's all part of your branding essence, you guys. All of the communication stuff, all of your personality and who you are, that's all part of what I call branding essence. That is all part of building the foundation.
Oh, and you froze again.
You don't want to be the type of person that just shows up and leaves. Now, Marianne knows that on these, I have to show up and
and then she has to leave. And now
won't be the type of person.
You're
Don't be
freezing
the
a
type of
lot, Lori.
person. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, but you're freezing a lot. So yeah.
Yeah. So I love you guys. Don't lose sight of who you are and don't lose sight of where you're going and what you are capable of, because I promise you, you're capable of so much more. Whatever you think you can do more. I promise you. Dig deep into that.
Good point. Whatever you think you can do, you can always do more. Thank you, as always, Lori, for gracing our stage. Have fun wherever it is you are. I'm sure you're speaking on some event somewhere. Are you in Florida or are you in Texas? Or are you in
No,
Portland? Nobody knows.
I was in Texas last night and early this morning, and today I am speaking in Orlando, Florida, at an event, um, and yeah, always things going on. And Marianne, you're always so gracious to let me just share something completely different from my heart, but it's always something that I feel is necessary for people to reflect upon. I always share things that I know people need to dig deeper into in business. So, and this is just one of those things that as we end the year and we get ready to start another year, how are you going to show up differently? How are you and all of your branding essence, your communication, your relationship building, all of that stuff? How are you actually going to do things differently in order to build that next level that you need to build, that's going to continue serving as a building block to ultimately get you to where you want to be? Don't be so focused on today that you're not forward thinking leader that you need to be, because that is such a special skill as a leader that more leaders need to develop, is the forward thinking, forward problem solving skills that it takes.
True. So true. Thank you so much, Lori, and good luck to you. Not that you need it, but have fun. Enjoy Orlando. At least you're in the warm land. It's a little bit chilly here in Canada, and I don't think it's that much different in Portland. So, you know what? Enjoy. And we will talk to you for sure shortly. Thank you so much for everything. If anyone wants to connect with Lori, she's going to put her info in the chat on my Facebook. And if you need to connect with her and you somehow can't find her for whatever reason, then connect with me. I'll be happy to connect you to her. So thank you again so much. Have a great time in Orlando. And with that, we will bring in our next speaker, which is
Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the event.
You too. Thank you. Karen, if you are here, let's bring you back on camera. We're a little bit off on time, everybody. I apologize for that. It's all good. With that, I will hand over the stage to my favorite social media girl who handles a bunch of things for me. I don't even, there's too long of a list. So with that, I give you Karen, who is, I just want to say this, 5 kids, Karen?
5.
5 kids, single mom, self-employed. That's all I'm going to say. So this is a strong woman with some great ideas. Take it away, Karen.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Marianne. You know how to always speak to someone and make them feel loved and taken care of, which is amazing. And I have to say, I love the topic of this particular summit because I don't think we discuss this enough in business. We don't talk about it. We always talk about processes, frameworks, sales, priorities, partnerships, arrangements, contract. I mean, the list is so amazingly long. And we don't talk about this. We don't talk about what relationships mean in business. We don't talk about how they impact relationships. And we also don't talk about the relationship we build with ourselves, among other things. So with all that, and there's so many different areas we can go, I want to talk about one that I don't think we even really consider. And once I start bringing this up and you're going to start thinking it through and you're going to look at it and go, oh my goodness, I do need to look into this. I do need to see where this is. I need to get a perspective on this. What I do is I look at the relationship bias that you are creating in your business. And that sounds like a real. I'm going to break it down and explain it to you because we miss this point so often because we have this list. And go ahead. If this is something that you can relate to, this is something that you feel, and you can say, yeah, I get that. I see that. How many of you wake up each morning and you have like a list? You have a list that you have to get through. You have things that you have to check off. You have things you have to create. You have things you have to get done, things you have to take care of. And you're so focused on going through that list and checking it off and making sure these things are done that we're forgetting about the relationship that we're having with our audience, our clients, our customers, our friends. And we're forgetting what the bias of that relationship is because we're so focused on the what we need to do, how we need to accomplish this, where we need to go, and what we need to do. And what do I mean by bias? We all think that we come across a certain way. We all think that we have particular skills. We all think that we have a particular personality. We all think that what we have or what we do is how everyone else sees us. Or if someone says that they see something in us, we'll, oh no, I don't know. I'm not sure how they see that. We have our own bias and we're putting that out there in our business, in our companies, in our relationships every single day. And not enough of us are stopping for a minute to see what that is, to see how we are being perceived and what it is that we're missing. I'll give you a couple of quick little stories on this because it is so powerful and impactful. And I see it all the time, which is why I've created this whole thing called the disruption archetypes. And if you've ever done a personality quiz or test or anything like that, like I see, Marianne, she does Codebreaker, she does the bank system, which is all about the sales. There's that, there's like Clifton strengths, there is the disc profiles, there's Myers-Briggs, all this. My disruption archetypes is an assessment of what personality type you're displaying as far as a company or a social media attribute. And the reason I did this is we think that we're doing certain things and we have it in our mindset that this is how we're coming across and what we're doing. But realistically, that is not what's happening. And this week, I actually went to a conference this week. I went to a conference and it was an AI conference. It was out in Vegas. And I was really excited. I got invited to speak with some pretty high level people. I got given opportunities to mix with some pretty large names in the industry and have conversations. And as I was talking to them and they say, well, what do you do? And I give them a little highlight of what I did. My own bias showed up. And now when we talk about my own bias showing up, there's two ways that your bias tends to show up in your business and in your life. We all think of one type of bias that shows up, and we don't always think about the other. The one type of bias that we think that shows up is the ego bias. The one way someone walks in the room and they think they're all that, they're amazing, like, oh my goodness, you totally should listen to me because I am the best person here. And we all see those people. We feel those people. We feel their energy. They come in. We feel their ego. We feel their I'm trying to think of the way to put this in a nice way, but they're full of it. We feel that. And when they come in, now some people have got to the point where they have that knowledge and they have that intent and they have earned that. And you don't feel that same ego from them. It feels like a well-placed, clear, strategic place. The other split of the scale is what I've realized I was doing with my own bias. And that is that imposter syndrome. You kind of know, you know, but you need to know a bit more. You need to put it out a little bit more and you need to do these things. And when I was answering questions and giving things back, they're like, oh, why didn't you put this out there? Why don't you talk on this? Why don't you put how to do this out there? And it's like, oh, because I didn't think I knew enough to do it. And it turns out I actually know more than most people on that particular topic. So our own bias and our own relationship with that stands in our way. So I really want you to sit there and think, when you're coming across in a room, when you're coming across on social media, when you're coming across on a phone call, on a Zoom, how are you showing up? But not only that, it's not only how you think you're showing up, but how do other people feel that they show up? So I got to realize that I was coming across as one of my characters. And one of my characters in the archetype is a muted Morgan. Now, Muted Morgan is a real cutie pie. You actually see him on my Zoom background. It's the little green on the side, the little green guy. Muted Morgan, and basically Muted Morgan is sweet, kind, but you wouldn't know it. They're brilliant. You just don't know it. And they have this fear, this root fear that they have this fear of not being smart enough or not leading with it because they think that they won't be seen or known. And this comes across a lot with business. And this is a self-relationship, but it's also the relationship you're developing with others. Because if you're sitting there and you're being quiet and you know what you need to do, but you don't want to put it out and that imposter syndrome is getting to you, you're not building the kind of relationship that you want with your audience. Because your audience is seeing this quiet person that maybe does, maybe doesn't know what they're doing. So we really want you to dig into that bias that you have on yourself for your self-relationship and your relationship with others. The other piece of this, and again, this is where we go to a different angle, and I want to tell you it's okay. I am giving you permission. I am giving you permission to screw up. I'm giving you permission to be broken. I'm giving you permission to do something weird. I'm giving you permission to do something that doesn't feel like it should happen in the business. Because when you show up with that kind of authenticity, where you say like, hey, you know what? I know I should have done this, but I did this instead. And you show that journey, you're actually developing relationships with your audience. You're developing a human-based relationship rather than this perfectly polished relationship where everything looks perfect and amazing in a highlight reel and no one thinks they can do what you do or be a part of what you do because you've got it all down. The trick in this relationship, in this showing the mess ups and showing where you went wrong and showing the fears and the frustrations, is you never should leave somebody in those fears and frustrations. If you come on to line or you're going to a meeting or you're going to a call and you tell everyone how things suck, okay, this sucks, this is bad, guess what? You're leaving them in that place. You're basically causing pain. And this is a relationship, that you're building for interaction, but you're not giving them the remedy, the solution, or the hope. You're not building a relationship. You're basically setting fire to things in the hope that people will react. And so many people are doing this on social media nowadays. They're setting fire to comments. They're setting fire to posts because what they want is they want that reaction. They want that argument. They want that fight because they see it as views, likes, and comments. They see it as engagement. But I'm telling you right now, these people that are setting fire to posts, they're what I call ghost peppers. They're the ghost pepper archetypes. They are not getting clients. They are not getting mentioned in rooms for good reasons. They are not getting shared as someone to speak to. They are the people that people are pulling out the popcorn to watch them burn themselves to the ground because it's entertainment. So you can't just go out there and say something controversial or do something controversial and leave the band-aid ripped off without putting it back on for that hope, that journey, that growth pattern, because then you're just burning your business down around you. And like I said, these architects, this is why you have to look at that relationship you're developing and the bias that you're having. We have this huge run right now, and it is prevalent on TikTok. We have what is called a satire account on TikTok. We have so many people that have these satire accounts on TikTok. And what these satire accounts are is they are quite literally leaning into stereotypes of individuals, of demographics, of political, health, social, economic, even race, ethnicity, or faith. And they are acting so far and above and beyond what these individuals are doing in such a satirical, overly exaggerated, comical way because they get a lot of likes, comments, and laughs. But what I'm also seeing is clips from these posts and videos being shared as truths because they're not realizing it's satirical and they're using it to cause divide and hatred and hurt. There have been many different things that have happened and they make fun of it or make light of it, and then they share it as a truth and saying, well, this is how these people really act, so you shouldn't like them. This is not creating a relationship. This is not creating a bias. And they're not acknowledging it as a satirical account. And by doing this, they're perpetuating this divide. How are you putting your content out there in a way that is for a betterment of a conversation? Or are you doing it just to divide people, just to hurt people, or just to cause insanity? These are relationships that we don't pay attention to, but they're also the relationships that are going to make or break you. They're going to make or break your business. If you go out there and you're posting things that are exaggerations because they make you feel better, they make you feel vindicated, then people aren't going to trust that what you do, if something goes wrong, won't be just like that. They're not going to trust you to work with you, to have that business with you, to grow that development with you. And you will be losing out on these potential clients, customers, contracts, and agreements. So what you put out there, how is this being viewed by individuals? And we are getting very dangerous right now with AI because so many people are utilizing AI to do these conversations and have these connections being put out there. But what they're not doing, and I swear, if I see another post like this, I'm probably going to explode. 5 prompts to help you grow your Instagram. No. These 5 prompts to do this, these 10 prompts to do that, this 3 prompts and you're going to make $10,000 in 3. No. No. These are clickbait, copy paste, generic posts that are not telling you anywhere near the truth in the matter. And they are not building relationships with ideal clients, customers, or even partnerships. Because I can go into any AI program and tell it to give me 5 posts to sell a pen. And it'll give me 5 boring, generic, kind of looks good language posts that won't land. Excuse me, they will not land whatsoever. You can tell it to have a CTA and a hook, but it doesn't understand what that is unless you tell it. It doesn't understand your brand voice unless you tell it. It doesn't understand your tone unless you tell your AI. So please, for goodness sakes, can we stop with these 5 prompts to build your business? Can we stop with these 10 prompts to build your Instagram? Can we stop with these 3 prompts to build your email list? They do not work because they do not develop a relationship. I actually did something this week where I put a book up on Amazon and on my website, and it was just something that I did very randomly because I was being asked about it. And so I created the content, and it wasn't something I was even intending to do, but I did. I released a 21 hook book on how to use psychology, neuroscience, trauma-informed care, and not to do hooks that were these bro marketing hooks that everyone's been taught how to do. Because this is what AI is coming out with right now. And it's oh, you can't write because you have the wrong pen because you suck, so you need to buy this pen. No, this is not what we do anymore. You have to think on how you can bring in that relationship, how you can bring in those things. So you have to look in your content and in your bias. What are your emotional drivers? And to give you some context, I'll give you the emotional drivers that are in this. The first one is curiosity. Brains love puzzles. They love information. They love having that spark, that wonder, not confusion. Confusion is not curiosity. Okay. So if you're going to confusion, well, then you're missing the point. So you don't want to do clickbait. You'll never believe what happened next. No. That is old school. That doesn't work anymore. It's like, I thought this would ruin out my business. It turned out it saved it. Let me tell you more. That's curiosity without clickbait. Okay. You never believe what happened. That's just clickbait. The next one is belonging. Humans crave interaction. We crave community. Even if you, like me, if I people, I people, and then I'm done peopling and I have to rest from peopling, and then I can people again a little bit more later. But we crave that belonging. We don't buy products. We join tribes. We join groups. Every time you say we, us, people like us, you're tapping into that really, it's the oldest human instinct. They need to be part of something safe. And if you use your hooks to build community, not comparison. So if you've ever felt too much, too loud, or too late, well, you're home here. It's not about saying you're worse than someone else. It's, hey, come on, we're the same. Come in. We're your people. The next one is validation. We want proof that what we're feeling makes sense. We want to feel like we're heard and seen. So when your hook names something that's unseen as emotion, it immediately builds trust. For example, you're not lazy. You're exhausted from surviving chaos. Guess what? That makes people feel seen. But the hooks that used to be would stop being lazy in your business and start doing the things you need to do. How does that make you feel? Does that build a good relationship? I don't think so. Let them know that you're there and you see them. Next one's authority. And it's not about shouting your credentials. It's not about going, look at all my certificates and look at what stages I've been on. And I had dinner with the queen last night. That is not authority. Okay? That's just name dropping. It's about having calm confidence. Your audience, they don't need another guru. They do not need the other like amazing expert that has it all, done it all. They want someone who's real. They want the guide who's been there, maybe still even has the dirt under the nails from digging through it. You know, it's kind of like, after rebuilding several times, here's what finally works. And I'm going to share it with you because I've been through it and I don't want you to have to either. Rather than, at 17, I decided that I was going to build my first company and I had $1 billion in 3 days. That's, oh, yeah, right. Okay, that doesn't work. But telling you that, hey, I've been there, done that, and I got the t-shirt, the shirt, the socks, the hat, everything, and I'm here with you, that is building a relationship. That is building real authority. Next one, safety. Because we're in this world that's sensory overload. The calm is a pattern interrupt. If you have this calm confidence where you're consistently given the safe space on how to learn and grow or how to develop or how to take advantage of your products or your systems, you're actually providing somewhere where people feel regulated and have more trust. We don't scream, it's whispers. You're okay, you're here. You don't have to do more. You have to do what matters. Hey, guess what? We're going to show you how. It's that safety, that calmness. And that's attracting more people who want to build now than this disruptive, almost angry energy. All I can think of is when I see this is, and I'm aging myself here, is these old informationals. But wait, there's more. What? Do it now and you'll not only get 1 can, you'll get 2 cans. People are not really wanting that anymore. They're not wanting that angry aggressiveness. They're wanting to feel seen. They're wanting to feel safe. They're wanting to feel like they can develop, that they can grow, that they can trust you to take care of what they need to take care of. That's what they want. The other one, and the last two, well, this one is rebellion. How many of you are sick and tired of being told what you should do? You should do this. You have to do that. Oh, no, don't do that. You need to do this. It sells because when you go against that grain, it sells because the truth is shocking and not many people are willing to tell it. Okay? Not many people are willing to speak up against what is being told as the normal. Marianne introduced me, 5 kids, entrepreneur, doing all this, and I homeschool. It's like, oh my gosh, you can't have a business. You've got too much to deal with. No, I have a business. I have a business because I have to with 5 kids. Can you imagine me trying to get a traditional job and taking kids to school and activities and everything else? When the hell would I work? It doesn't fit with any schedule. But that's not what's expected. And so rebellion hugs people because it's, well, you don't need another strategy. You need to set boundaries with the one you already have. You don't need another training. You actually need to complete the 3 that you paid for last month. Okay? Telling people the truth helps. And the final one, this is probably the biggest hug and the biggest relationship builder that you'll ever have. And that is that transformation. Hope, growth, and journey is the biggest relationship builder you can have in your social media business because it closes the loop and reminds the audience that evolution is safe, that growth is safe. It's like the version of you that once settled doesn't live here anymore. You're allowed to grow and you're allowed to evolve. This is who I was 6 months ago, and this is who I am today because I know I'm allowed to grow, and so are you. I want to share with you how this helped me grow. Can you see the difference between now and then? Do you see yourself? And it's about talking, do you see yourself in who I was 6 months ago? And who I am now is who you want to be. That's a transformation. That's a relationship. That is showing the painful parts of your journey, the hard parts, but not leaving it with the popcorn, but leaving it with the solution and the transformation at the end. So it is safe, it is secure, there is hope, and there is belief. And it's that storytelling element. Stories build relationships like no other. I don't know about you, but when I was a child and I used to read stories, I didn't just see them as words on a paper. They became people. They became companions. They became adventures. They became things with me. This is the kind of relationship that you need to be building. And you need to take the bias that I spoke about at the beginning. The bias that you all have. You either have the ego where you feel like you are the best thing, but you don't have what needs to come to prove it or back it up. Or you have the imposter syndrome, where you know what you need to say needs to be said, but you're scared to say it because you don't want the reaction. If we could remove that bias and you could just be you as a person and you could just have your relationship with yourself, with your audience, with the world, with your business, and you could showcase the transformation that you went through and develop that companionship and relationship, just like those characters in the storybooks, just like all these different people, and have someone look at you and see what it was as a valid journey and show how you are appearing to others. This is how you develop relationships and that communication and conversation. So what I'm telling you here is if relationships are not on your high level list and not on your to-do list each and day on how to build relationship, how to build transformation, how to build trust, how to build safety, rebellion, any of those, then you're filling a to-do list that is just the framework of having a business, and it becomes this cookie cutter box that you get to a certain, you can get to a certain point, but you're not going to go past that point because it's the relationship with all these other people. It's the relationship with your audience, your clients, your customers that creates this rapid growth system. Oh, I'm looking for Marianne because really, honestly, just truthfully look at how other people see you. Quick exercise you could do on your social media right now is post a selfie and ask people to tell you, what do they think when they see you? And don't judge what they say. Ask them to be honest. A lot of people, they immediately say my pink hair because they know that. But ask them, what do they see when they see you? And when you get that list, are you building the relationship that you want? Or are they seeing someone that you didn't want to show them? Because maybe you complained a lot. Maybe they see you as angry. maybe they see you as quiet. Maybe they don't know you have a business because you're so scared to show it that you just talk about drinking tea and looking at sunset. But ask them, who do they see when they see you? And then evaluate that and make a decision. What kind of relationship are you going to build going forward? And how are you going to show them who you wanted them to see and who they want to see you as a human? Because that will expand you in this amazing way. So, hey, Marianne, see you back. Oh,
Thank you. I had to deal with my dog a little bit. I guess he's not
oh,
feeling
lucky.
well today. You know, there's 5 planets in retrograde this month, so some of them, yeah, I know, some of them just went, so it affects not only us, but our animals too, so take care of them.
Oh, yeah.
I love everything you said. Wait, I had written down something. Oh, when you said, oh, you can't do it, because people are always telling you why you can't do it, right? The naysayers.
Right.
Because you have 5 kids, because of this. I get this a lot. Because I don't have the kids, but I have several different businesses. Some relate to each other. I think I think bank relates to everything. I think my supplements relate to everything, because if you feel good, everything's going to be good. If you could communicate well with everyone, whether it's personal, business, or whatever, who cares? It's always good, right? And I think by real estate, okay, maybe not everyone wants to buy real estate in Ontario, which is where I'm licensed, but I'm actually spreading my wings around the world a little bit. So I've got 3 or 4 countries now that I'm working with. So there's something for everyone. And when people think, no, you have too many things going on, and I'm like, no, I have just enough things going on. And you're not the boss of me, first of all, and you're not the expert in me. My brain works in such a way, along with my personality type, which is A type anyways, and action in bank, but regular A type for everyone. I need to be stimulated all the time. My brain gets very, very bored very quickly. And if everything is too monotonous, if there's not enough shifting and changing and rotating, I get bored. And when I'm bored, I'm not good. I'm good when I'm busy. You know how they say the busiest people get the most done? That would be me.
Yeah. Well, this is why when people talk about, got a niche, no, you don't. And it's not, your niche isn't you. I believe in an umbrella niche. There's a word that covers what you do. And each of your things, as long as it aligns in there, that works. And for yours, it's probably along the lines of comfort, being comfortable in the home, being comfortable in your body, being comfortable in your conversation,
and
being comfortable in your finances. See, that still makes it one umbrella. They all relate to that word.
Yeah, they do. And confidence too, and fun. I want you to enjoy. I want you to enjoy your house when I'm selling it to you. I don't want you to just move there because now you're relocating and you have to, and this, that, and the other. Or now you're downsizing, so you don't know what you're going to do without the extra 1,000 square feet. Or you're upgrading and now you don't know how you're going to handle the extra 1,000 square feet, So I want you to be happy there. I want you to be happy in the bank. I want you to be happy. So I'm selling you the supplements and telling you about that. Like that's my niche, people.
Well, it's about them being comfortable and happy and in the place where they feel they belong.
Yeah.
That's unique. It's not that you have to use different, and that's what I believe in. I believe that the niches, where they used to say need health and wellness is your niche. No, it's more about Maya Angelou, I believe, said it, that it's people will remember how you made them feel versus what you said.
Exactly.
And your niche, I am a firm believer that niches now, they're about how you make people feel, not what you're talking about.
Exactly.
And if you can lean into that, then you're being authentic, you're being human, and you're building a relationship based on that emotional connection.
Exactly. And it's important. It's important to me that people feel good. We were talking about relationships and leadership and whatnot. And how do people feel when they've left your masterclass or whatever? How do they feel? Do they feel a little bit scared because you've now put so much pressure on them? Or do they feel empowered? And now they want to do this because they want to do this.
Yeah.
not because they should, or you just told them they better or else. Like, come on, those are old.
And this is why you also have to look at the bias. How are people actually perceiving you versus how you think you're coming across?
Mhm.
Because as soon as you can have that self-awareness and growth journey to do that,
It's true.
you can make so many more connections.
So beautiful. And now you all have heard her, and now you understand why she is my social media girl, but she is so much more than social media. She is intelligent, and I don't even I don't even have to tell her much. I'm like, you know what? I'm putting up this class. This is what I want. This is the date. This is the time. This is the theme. Can you come up with something, please? Thanks. And then she just sends it to me. So, you know what? Really amazing. If y'all want to connect with Karen, put your info on my Facebook underneath the chat. And if you still can't find that and you can't find Karen with this beautiful pink hair, connect with me. I'm happy to connect you to her.
Thank you.
So thank you again so much. You're welcome to stay as long as you can. I know that's not going to be long because there's 5 children and there's lots of clients, and holy smoke.
Oh yeah. Thank you so much. It's a beautiful topic. So much needs to be spoken about this.
I think we're going to have to repeat it in February when it's Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And I haven't
Thank
picked it
you.
yet for February, but we'll do Valentine's Day because the day before is my birthday. So we'll do all that and we'll put it in a nice package of relationships. So thank you again so much, Karen. Have a
Thank you.
beautiful day. Amanda and I are going to end with talking about one of my most favorite subjects, which is APL Go. Actually, I should change my thing. We'll get Amanda to start talking while I'm changing. Amanda,
Yes.
tell us about your experience with APL Go, because I know you
But
have a good one.
yeah, I've had a really great experience. So I've been on the product for a year and a half, and I have had really amazing results from it. And since we're talking about relationships, I have built wonderful relationships with the ladies at APL Go. They're amazing people. And Marianne, my director, my leader, she got me into these products. And when I first started them, we were really just, it was more for me to feel better, because when you don't feel good, it's really hard to run a business. When you're suffering with health issues, it's really hard to run a business. It's really hard to build relationships and show up for other people. And I was running on empty, drinking energy drinks and not having a good time. So Marianne had suggested that I try the GTS and the STP. But the GTS is to help with natural energy, and the STP is for coming off of stuff and reducing sugar cravings. So, but the GTS helped me gain natural energy, and the STP helped me get off of the energy drinks. But I also had a lot of inflammation because I had a car accident many years ago, so lots of pain in the body. And she suggested the SLD as well. So those were the 3 products that I originally started with. And I no longer have inflammation. I'm able to do a lot more. I feel energized. I'm not drinking energy drinks anymore. And I have 1 coffee a day. And I have been doing that for a year and a half. Well, about a year and 2 weeks-ish. Or a year and a half shy of 2 weeks. That's what I meant to say. But yes, it's been a while anyways. But those are 3 of my favorite products. But as I kept taking more products, I kept finding more that I liked. And now another one of my favorite products is I'll talk about the HPY,
Yes.
the happy, because when you're stressed out and you're having a rough day and things are going kind of rough and you have to still adult and deal with other people and your business and your family, sometimes, you just need something to kind of boost your mood up a little bit. And this is a natural way to do that. This one I like because it makes me feel more grounded and more clear about how I'm speaking, and I'm just more alert, I found, with the happy. So this is one of my other favorite products. And I like these because they're just little candies that you can literally take anywhere you go. I'm busy all the time. I'm a mom of 3 and I do a lot of business. So I don't have time to like mix a bunch of stuff in the kitchen or remember to pack this or that or any of that stuff. So these have been really great for me and they're really easy to take with you, really convenient. The flavors are actually really amazing and they're sweetened with beetroot sugar. So there's no sugar in them and they taste good and they're candy. They melt in your mouth and go through your mucosal membranes, which helps bypass the digestive system. So unlike traditional stuff that you may be taking to help improve your life, this kind of bypasses the digestive system and you get the full absorption of the nutrients. So it delivers it pretty quickly to your bloodstream, which is why they're so effective because things are not getting lost in your digestive tract or your stomach. And if you have unbalanced gut health, then that also will contribute to how you're digesting stuff. So this has been great for me because they are halal, they're kosher, there's no dyes, no synthetics. You don't need a food science degree to read the ingredients in them. So that was an easy yes for me, and I've been taking them ever since. So my experience with them has been actually pretty amazing.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. I did want to mention BTY because I hardly ever talk about this one. And so first thing I want to say is that, yes, APL Go's lozenges are all made from the DNA of the plant. They are up to 100% absorbability, which is insanely awesome. And they're all infused with negative ions. They do work through the mucosal membrane. So you want to put it into your mouth ideally and suck on them because they are a hard candy. They are not a gummy. They are not chewable. They're not anything. So they're not sublingual, so you don't need to put it underneath your tongue, but it will go through the mucosal membrane. And that's how they absorb so quickly. We have 19 products right now that are all amazing. And we're not going to go through all 19, but if you are interested, we have, oh my gosh, so many. So I do want to talk about this one. I don't talk enough about the beauty. And since both Amanda and I have it as a background, I feel like I almost have to. So I am just on the tail end of menopause, I'm hoping. And I will tell you, menopause, maybe not the same for everyone, but it made my hair so dry that I could barely handle it. So these actually help to grow the hair, as does Grow, which I can't seem to find anywhere. So if you have one, Amanda, maybe you could put one up. We have Grow, which is an immune booster. There it is. Amanda's holding that one. So it's not only an immune booster, but it'll actually help your hair grow and your nails. And same with this one, but this one will also make it silkier. So one will take away the dryness, the other one will make your hair. So I frequently have these little tiny hairs growing, so I have to like pat them down, and I'm trying not to use hairspray anymore. So I'm putting it down with like lotion creams and stuff. Also collagen for as we get older, ligaments, tendons, etc. Inner and outer awesomeness right there. And I do want to talk about the brain because along with menopause and a few other things comes brain fog. If you are diabetic, if you are pregnant, you can take these. These are safe for children, animals, and people younger, older. There's no limits. I've even had people call me up and say, oh my gosh, my child got a hold of a whole box and ate the whole thing all at once. And I said, well, too bad for you, because that was a $50 box of really great vitamins that you just lost. And they're like, I don't care. I just want to know he's going to be okay. And I go, he's fine. And he was. And this wasn't the first time that we've ever had this happen, because you know what? They taste so good. You will have no trouble having your kids take these. These are the best. And I've had some really great results with people getting a little bit of clarity. I'm not going to say that they, dementia disappeared, but with dementia, yeah, they're just getting enough clarity so that they can sometimes recognize some of their family members, at least for a short time, which gives everyone some happiness, right? Like if you have a family member that has or had dementia and they're no longer with us. Both of my parents had dementia, both. My mom's was very extreme. She had it for a good 10 years before she actually passed away. And my dad had it more from diabetes. So it was more that third diabetes 3, which is dementia from diabetes or delirium, or, they have different names for them. And so I wish I had these back then, but I didn't. So it's okay. They're here now. So this is the GTS that Amanda was talking about. These are my #1 sellers at a trade show because everyone's tired, and this gives you natural energy, and it's way better than having any of those energy drinks. This one for me, I would say, is one of my favorites. I give this to myself, to my dog. This is great if you have parasites, and believe me, we all have them. It's just a matter of how many. And so this is a good one for balancing your microbiome and just basically cleaning it up and helping to make your belly a little bit flatter, along with this one, which will eat away at the visceral fat. And it does a really great job because the first time I used this for the full month, and prior to that, I had used this one and a few others for the liver, which I can't seem to find here now. So if you have one, Amanda, hold it up. If not, it's okay.
HPR?
Yeah, that one actually also, yeah, there it is. Ooh,
Hold on, we're getting a reflection here.
put it down a bit, put it down this way and see if that, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
just the light.
yeah,
Sorry,
it's
light's really
bright.
bright.
That's okay. It's just super bright. Yeah.
Oh, now you can't see it at all.
It's okay. It's just the wrapper. That's why I try to remove them, but not always, don't always get around to them. It's okay. Anyways, those are really great for the liver. It'll help give us some liver support. So the first time I used it, it was 16 pounds in 1 month. So 16 pounds around my belly be gone after menopause. Are you kidding? I'm so happy. And I'm now using it again. So I've now dropped a total of 26 pounds and I'm super, super happy. I would like some more before Christmas, before we get right into the whole Christmas season. I know in the US, you all have Thanksgiving coming up. We've already done that. And so that worked out okay for me. And I hope you all enjoy it still. I do want to talk about one of my favorites, which is SLD, and we didn't mention it. This is an anti-inflammatory. I have a ligament that I like to pull every so often in my knee for some reason. And so this really, really helps me a lot. I do have to say I'm doing less and less of it since I've been taking this one. Now, this one is probably one of my newest and my most favorite, or definitely our newest product. It is a stem cell regeneration and a telomere extension, all in a little box. That's all I'm going to say about that. I think everyone needs that. Anyone who's over 40 for sure needs it. Anywhere between 30 and 40, you can already start taking it. I also give it to my dog who's 11 years old. So I do want to talk briefly about air because there's a lot of allergies. The allergy season has been very strange this year. If you have seasonal allergies, this will clean up your lungs. And I don't know where my alt is because that's for the, oh, maybe this is.
Oh, I got one.
There. Oh, you got one. Okay, good. Perfect. And so this one is for the lungs, and the one that Amanda's holding up is for the upper respiratory. So it'll be for the bronchioles. It'll cover a sore throat or a cough that you have, and then if your ears get plugged up and your sinuses, that would be that one. And I have to tell you, that is probably the product. That is probably the reason I joined APL Go, was I had horrible seasonal allergies. I would have to take something that was sold easily and effortlessly at the drugstore. It's just right there. It's over the counter. It's nothing, intense, but It's a liquid and it's good. It does take down some inflammation, but it wasn't as good as this. And this is all natural. So all I did was substitute that for the alt for what I was taking. I was taking it 3 times a day for 3 months. So all I did was take the alt for 3 times a day for 3 months. And the following season, I only took 2 a day. And then it went down to 1. And now this past season so far, although it's a weird season up here in Canada because we had fall and then we got winter one day and now we're not sure what's going on, but we have something. I have only taken 2 boxes. So I would take no less than 3 boxes a month and I would do it for 3 months in a row. The whole season, I've only used 2 boxes, which is pretty darn good. And I think that's also due to the earlier GRW that we had, which boosts your immune system. So once your immune system is a little more healthier and stronger, then you have a tendency to have less allergies. And once you clean up a little bit of your microbiome, then you have a tendency also to have less allergies. So we have to include this one. We have to include the MLS. We have to include, like, a lot of things are involved. So, but the beauty of all of these is that they are 100% natural. You can take them. They don't contraindicate anything, nothing. They don't argue with anybody in your body. No food, no other medication, no other vitamins if you want to take and you want to keep taking those, but you might not because these are pretty darn good. So that's what I'm going to say about APL Go. We are currently having a massive sale. It's for our birthday, was this week, and the sale runs until Sunday. It is literally buy one, get 2 free if you register as an associate. So I believe it starts at the $200 level. Honestly, you're missing out. You should definitely try these. I joined right around this time, not quite, still like another month later, and I bought a ton for Christmas and gave it to everybody for Christmas. But my friends are all used to getting vitamins and things, and they're like, oh my gosh, there she is getting vitamins. I don't care. I wish you well. I'd rather give you a box of vitamins than, you know, a bottle of wine that costs $20 and the vitamins that cost $50. Like, I'd rather give you the good stuff and hope that you feel healthier. So absolutely amazing products. I can't say enough. If you are looking for a side hustle, it is a fun side hustle. I have just came back from Greece about 3 weeks ago. That was my 5th trip with the company that I went on, and I had won another 2 that I just couldn't make it on. We have the most amazing trips. So we had China and Japan cruise, then we had Greece, then we had Dubai, was about 2 years ago. So we did Dubai, and where did we go? Qatar. I can't even remember everything. Abu Dhabi. It was great. We have really, really great trips. Dominican, Cancun, twice I think we went to. Yeah, really great places. So we have great prizes. I've won more product than I can tell you about. Swag, skincare. We have a skincare. They're doing some revamping to it, so we're hoping to get it back in spring. It is also packaged in glass bottles, which is great. And oh my gosh, like, we have such amazing ingredients in there. Did I mention the product is all natural? Same with the skincare. So there's actually malachite in the eye cream. Like, who puts malachite into an eye cream? Like, that is so amazing. We also have the pendant, which I almost forgot about. I wear this all the time. It's like a part of my skin now. This will balance you out, period. Whatever your issues are, this will balance it out. And it's a really great thing. Everyone loves it. So there's quartz crystal inside, and volcanic ash from Japan is inside, and it just basically balances your body for whatever you need. So whatever that is for you, that's what it's going to be doing for you. Amazing product, absolutely 100% natural. It is gluten-free, GMO-free, halal, kosher, like so many wonderful things are not, are in it. And then so many not good things are not in it. So ashwagandha is one of our favorite herbs to put in there. I don't, probably at least half the products, if not more, have ashwagandha in it. So just to give you a little bit of an idea of what's in there. And with that, we will wish you all the best. We hope you have a great weekend. A happy Thanksgiving next weekend, USA. And next month will be December 12th, and it is all about joy of giving for the season. So we're going to talk about how good it is to give. So if you're like me and your love language is gift giving and receiving, you're right on board with us. Everything is going to work out perfect. So with that, I want to thank you all for joining us. Thank you to everyone who's watching the recording. Thank you to all that participated. Thank you to all my beautiful, wonderful speakers. Thank you to everyone who's going to share this. Please feel free to share this. I put it out for free for a reason, so that people can enjoy. Please share it with someone who you think might benefit from this. And thank you all so much. Namaste. Have a good